No, I think it's just be easier just to refer to you as CC.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
we got Paper, Enigma, and Thyre. Thyre. Because
Mike
is it because
Tyson,
you have?
I'm gonna light that on fire.
I'm gonna light that on Thyre. Fire? No, Thyre. No,
You know,
it's a TH.
I
It's
just,
thigh.
no,
Thigh.
Yeah,
TH.
fire.
no,
That's what I
Thigh.
said.
I just realized I based my whole entire career on that. Oh no!
And how long has it been? Like like a year or two? Oh, it's already started. The poltergeist has already started.
I'll move the table.
Sorry, keep it.
I'll move the table.
That was
How do
me.
you
I'm
move the table, though?
No,
We don't need that.
I didn't think that.
Wow, you're strong.
I've been working out.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
Wait, I can't see CC on camera. Can you see him on your camera?
No, I
can
can't
see
see
him.
him on the camera either. Did you move
What?
the camera?
No, it's Enigma that we can't
Oh,
see.
Enigma, can you move down? You moved down too far.
Thank God, Enigma. Oh,
There you
yeah.
go. So, welcome to the the Nerd Evolution podcast. This is episode 4 coming at you. Stop that.
What did you do? Oh,
Constant professionalism, always. As I hold up an L to my forehead.
I'm getting an ad right now.
Always constant professionalism. God dang it! Every time. Is that me or you? I can't tell.
Oh no, my controller had a
Today's episode
stroke.
is brought to you by Fire TVs. Get yours at Amazon. All right. Today's episode is brought to you by Honey. Next time you're looking for something online, you're going to order it. Use Honey in your browser. It's an extension on Google. I think they have it on Bing as well. And all you have to do is order like you're normally going to do. Let Honey do the work. It'll get you the best deal. It works on ordering pizza. It also works on Uber Eats, by the way. Confirmed. You can use it on adamandeve.com. You can use it anywhere you're ordering something online, including Amazon. Amazon always has something. It's Honey, Honey. Look it up, add it to your browser. Thank you, Honey, for the sponsor. All right, today we have Enigma. Enigma, say hello to the kids at home.
What's up, children?
I'm joined by Paper.
Hello.
It was off to a great start.
I'm the
And I
smallest
have
one here.
Thyre.
we go.
We're just gonna call him CC. We're just gonna call him CC for the purposes of
We have
this.
CC's Pizza. Today's episode, if you can't tell, we're talking about Teletubbies and they're how wonderful they are
make chocolate
about
in my
no. Star Wars.
Shut up,
We're talking Star Wars. Don't sit down.
No, really.
We'll be taking questions from the
live.
live.
Doing Star Wars.
Well, I said Teletubbies, and
Was
he
it-
almost had a fucking heart attack over here. I could hear his eyes twitching. You know, he was like,
Wait,
Today's-
what's Star Wars?
there's a door. It marks exit. I'm sure you can't read. It's over that way, though. We'll be taking questions from the live audience later, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to send them in at any time, and we'll get around to them. You can ask questions about the show, about us in general, or the topic today, which is Star Wars as a franchise. We're going to be covering the movies, the comics, the extended universe, the TV shows that are coming up on the Disney Plus service, the animated saga that went on, which we were just discussing a moment ago. Which one was it you said was the trooper that was still alive at the end
Kix.
of Kix?
Yeah.
Explain this to me. I'm not familiar.
CT6116.
I'm sorry?
CT6116, aka Kix. He was a
Okay.
clone medic. He ended up being cryogenically frozen, and then the ship he was on just got lost. I think it was, or was
I think
lost
it
in
got-
enemy territory. Correct?
Was
I
this
think I got,
in
attacked and lost.
Yeah.
was this in the Clone Wars saga?
No, I don't
no,
think
it's
so. It could maybe
extended.
be shown in
Maybe
season 7, maybe.
for lucky.
Stark
Yeah.
Struckers says hi CC, and what about the droid attack on the Wookiees? We
No,
will get
no.
Oh god.
It's a meme. It's a meme. Don't worry about it. It's a meme.
Okay, we won't cover
No.
that then. I was gonna ask. Someone's gonna have to cover that one for me. Welcome, Shadow, and Stark.
Oh god.
Oh,
So-
here comes all the clones.
Yeah, right.
Explain to me. Was this in the Clone Wars animated series, or was it part of the?
It was part of
novels?
episode 3 of
Three,
the
yeah.
movie, and Ki-Adi-Mundi was like, "What about the Droid attack on the Wookiees?" And then Yoda just kind of ignored it. And then
No.
then-
I
then
mean
went to it.
the trooper that was cryogenically
Ah.
frozen.
Oh, that
Kicks.
that happened in I don't think it was actually shown on screen. I think maybe in season 7 when the 12 episodes drop, because there's a lot of spicy stuff supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. It was
I thought
explained
there were
Yeah.
only
somewhere, I can't
6
remember.
seasons on Netflix.
There,
Oh, is
I
there?
think, there's 6 on Netflix, but they're adding a 7th to Disney Plus. Like,
Right, they haven't
really.
added it yet, but you're
Yeah,
telling me that it's
will
it's
eventually.
going to be in there.
it might be in there. That's what I would
Okay.
assume. If not, maybe it's in a book or something.
Okay, so I haven't
That'd be
actually
nice.
heard of this, and I've seen everything there is visually to see except for
Yeah.
the show Resistance. I haven't really gotten around to force myself to.
Didn't
put
that get
in my
canceled after the
eyeballs.
first season?
I think it got canceled before the end of the first season, to be
Oh
honest
yeah,
with you.
yeah, it did.
And they were like contractually obligated to finish it, so they were like, you know what, everybody can just go home. I got this, and they just sat down and finished.
Yeah.
They just they
Yeah,
used
so-
voiceovers from the original 3 episodes and stretched it out to the full 10
Wow.
episodes.
You're talking about the unfinished ones on YouTube, right? Those like weird, wacky
No.
looking ones.
I'm
No,
actually
the,
making all
uh,
this shit up. I was kidding.
Oh, I'm not. No. If you go to YouTube right now, no. If you go to YouTube
Right now? Hold on.
There's literally unfinished episodes that they just kind of discarded.
Of what?
Like I shit you not.
Yeah, that's the
Oh, I
new
believe
season
it.
7 coming out.
Yeah, those.
They're just
Okay, yeah.
finishing up and cleaning them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was the reason why Kix was frozen is because he after witnessing CT-5385 Tup, this is according to the wiki, unwillingly shoot down and kill Jedi Master Tiplar, Kix became suspicious, then conducted his own investigation. He eventually discovered the inhibitor chips in the clones' brains, which would allow Palpatine to send an order for Order 66.
Do it.
But he got abducted by the CIS before he could act on the findings, and then he was frozen. Then he stayed in stasis for 50 years until a band of pirates led by Sidon Ithano discovered him, and then he ended up joining them after he found out about the fall of the Republic.
And
Yeah, you
this,
actually
Jedi
see the
Order.
pirate in the Force Awakens, the one with the like weird helmet that's really bright and curved.
Mhm.
It's like really bright red.
the pirate with the curved helmet.
Yeah,
Wait, that's
you-
Kix?
No, that's not Kix. That's the pirate that picked him up.
Oh, yeah,
He's
fine,
only
yeah.
like in the background for like a few seconds, but you do see him in like Force Awakens.
Is
Yeah.
this like in,
Oh, yeah,
in
you
one
do.
of the like the casino scenes or something, or
I think
No, it's
so.
it's when they were in Maz Kanata's place.
Yeah.
oh,
Right when Finn was trying to leave, run away.
Oh,
He
that's
was
who
gonna
that
he was
is?
gonna yeah.
CC
Oh.
getting some recognition
was-
from
he
my
was
chat.
gonna-
Psycho
he was
says
gonna hire
yo
them.
CC.
Oh well, yeah. By the way, not to alarm you or anything, but you might get a lot of people. I run we run a 400 plus server of just clones, so you
Everyone's
just
welcome.
put up-
Seriously,
Yeah,
honestly, just for the record, I stopped streaming. This is the only thing I stream anymore is this podcast,
yeah.
and I've been putting it together for a better part of the year. I've been trying to get it
Oh,
done
okay.
together, and it's been slow going. Finally got some of the kinks worked out. We trying to get some of the regular rotation of guests. So I might have you guys back on to talk things non-Star Wars. Like,
yeah, I'm
we,
fine with that.
we
Yeah.
I tried to do this on Sunday night.
We did Marvel last week.
Yeah, we did
Oh,
Marvel
I
last
love
week.
Marvel.
We went
I
from
got to
Marvel
that.
and somehow we got to DC, which that's not much of a stretch. But then we
No.
started talking. Then we started talking about Star Wars, and I could see how you connected them. So we just decided to roll the Star Wars talk directly into
Cute.
this. But everybody was busy, including myself Sunday, in-laws. Which, by the way, paper we didn't even end up going.
What?
We did.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you later off camera. Anyway,
Okay.
so drop me a like, drop me a follow. That's great. I appreciate it. All the love, but and I don't read my chat fully because I try to keep the conversation flowing. I don't want any of your compadres thinking that I ignore them or anything. So if they have something legitimately to say, to get them to drop it down, and I'll try to get to it as I can. But so, have any of you been keeping up with the D23 thing that was going on about a week or so ago?
D23.
I
don't know what that is.
D23 is Disney's version of
Obi-Wan
Comic-Con and E3 kind of rolled up into one.
What?
Yeah, and they have it
Ewan
every.
McGregor's back with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paper, for stepping all over my announcement.
Oh, sorry.
Good job, Paper. Wait,
Well, that was our
just-
show.
let
Thanks
me
for
just get
having
my
out.
sister.
Peace.
There you go.
Sorry. I got excited. I'm sorry.
It's basically it's DisneyCon, as it's being said. Okay, so The Mandalorian, the full trailer dropped recently for The Mandalorian, which is going to be on this Disney Plus channel. For any of those out there who aren't familiar with this, Disney has their own streaming service that they're coming out with next. It debuts next month, and it will launch day one with Mandalorian, and it's got it's not Boba Fett. It's already been confirmed that is not Boba Fett, and if it is Boba Fett, it's a red herring scenario where they're not going to say it's Boba Fett until way later, like towards the end of the thing. But Disney Plus streaming service is going to be kind of like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, but it's going to include all things Disney, Disney Junior, Star Wars, Marvel, National Geographic, and there was one more and I can't remember what it is now, but it's $7 a month. Get it, check it out. Here's the thing. It's now they finally let it out that their streaming service is going to be a weekly release for their shows, not a drop the whole season, binge it out kind of thing. They want is somebody eating? I hear fork and knife on plate. Paper. Paper, that is you, isn't it? Or you goddamn meatloaf.
I'm not eating. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, they're not going to release it to where it's one full season and then you just watch the whole thing. They want to keep people interested because what they're seeing is people with Netflix and HBO Go is they'll get the service, binge the thing that they want, and then drop the service and they lose customers for almost a year. And then it's like Stranger Things comes out, you get it, binge it, drop it. It's like what, $15 for a full month or now for Netflix or something?
Yeah, something
like
like
that. Yeah, something like that.
But I was thinking that, well, what's to keep people from waiting till the thing releases, get it, binge the whole thing in a week, get like the whole season in a week. But they have this new thing to where if you want to watch The Mandalorian, you have to have the subscription for a longer period of time than just 1 month to get all of the things.
Oh, Disney, what are you doing?
Well, they're trying to keep people interested. It's $7 a month, and they're gonna be they're gonna, and now that they own all of Hulu, they're gonna roll everything. Yes, they own Hulu.
They do?
They own Hulu. They were 40%. And now that they own Fox, they got Fox's controlling interest. So now they were at over 67%.
Oh my gosh.
And Comcast made a deal with them to where they were like, you know what, we'll just sell you our controlling interest, and we'll make a contract.
Monopolizing it.
Well,
it's monopolizing
it's
everything.
Disney. It's the big mouse. You can't beat the mouse. You can't beat the mouse.
We tried, and look what happened to us.
I mean, seriously, I'm surprised you don't have Disney ears on that goddamn helmet.
Honestly,
right? The thing is, though, they're gonna work a deal to where you are you that excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
And he had to stand up.
Ants in the armor.
Yeah, a little bit.
They worked a deal where they're gonna work a deal to where if you have Hulu and Disney Plus, you get a discount for having both services as one. All the Fox stuff goes to Hulu. All of their R-rated stuff is going to be under a different banner, like the Fox level banner, and they're going to have, like Deadpool, for example. Deadpool is going to stay under the Fox banner, and it's going to stay, even if it's connected to the MCU, it's going to be its own R-rated thing over here.
Yay!
And they're going to keep Ryan Reynolds to finish out the thing, but they're going to not show it on their Disney Plus service. Because they're only going to show it over here on the Hulu Fox
They
side.
don't mess with Deadpool.
Right.
Okay.
So, honestly, the Mandalorian. Have you seen the trailer? Has anyone seen the trailer?
It looks
Yeah.
good.
I've
Yeah, it
never
looks
seen
amazing.
it. I've never
Yeah,
seen the trailer.
Looks good.
No. Paper,
Uh-uh.
you're the only one with me, really?
Yeah,
Guess
I've
you
seen
guys
it.
were.
I saw it.
Oh,
I
he
was,
saw it.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
he saw
Yeah.
it. I
I
haven't
mean,
seen it though.
I got super excited when I saw the Apollo Creed sitting in that fucking bar. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah. What I mean, what's his name? Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers. Apollo Creed, Action Jackson, the guy from
Yeah.
Predator. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be the Mandalorian, but it turns out it's the guy from Game of Thrones.
It's Pedro
Really?
Pascal, I think his name is.
The
What
guy
is
who
his
got
name?
his eyeballs squished by the mountain.
Oh.
Nobody?
I just know from the guy as
Ah.
Narcos. That's where I know him from, is Narcos.
Narcos?
Yeah.
Which one did he
I
play?
think
I
his
didn't
name's-
actually see that show.
Yeah, no, he was one of the detectives in it. I think his name's Pedro Pascal. I think. Pretty sure.
I'd actually have to look it up, but it's supposed to be he was in that season.
Yeah, he is. He is a Mandalorian.
Okay.
Pedro
Now-
Pascal.
There's supposedly he has almost no lines, and that he will almost not be seen without his helmet, and it's supposed to take it back to the look and feel of a western.
Star Wars Goblin Slayer.
Oh my god.
No, it's supposed to be a Western style. It's Jon Favreau, for those of you who don't
Mhm.
know, who brought us the Iron Man and
Mhm.
Chef, because the Chef relates directly to the Mandalorian somehow.
It's magic.
It's going to be more of a low budget. It's going to have heavy CG elements, but
It doesn't look that low budget.
It's going to be lower budget than like the hundreds of millions of dollars that the films are doing. It's
Well,
going to
yeah,
be
it's a
it's going to be more
TV show.
akin to the original OG series where everything is like practical stuff. And,
Yes. Oh.
yes.
Yes.
They're going to be reusing a lot of the set dressings that they're making for the films. Jon Favreau, I heard about an interview he did where he was talking about how they're getting such a deal for all the stuff that was from the live action films, where he's like,
Yeah.
you're done with that speeder? Bring that on over here to my set, and we'll find a way to work it in. It's like, oh, you're not using that rock? Yeah, bring that over here. I'll take that rock. It's a Star Wars Jedi Slayer, but it's the trailer looks amazing. I'm really excited for it. Paper, you have anything to say about it?
That guy that gets cut in half by a door. I wonder how much they're gonna show that.
It's confirmed. It's not rated R. It's confirmed. It's going to be family friendly. Not family friendly to where there's like no.
Then cut away.
It's going to be like where they don't show the other side falling off the door. They're just going to like show it, slow it going down, and the camera goes that way.
Yeah.
And they're not going to address the guy. They're going to be like, it's going to be like a reaction shot, like, ooh.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
The whale hand.
Or just a squish in the background. Oh, Wilhelm.
You're not going to hear the
Yeah.
squish noise.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers is over there making that EU face. Somebody vomits in the background in a helmet.
Oh. Oh, I
But
just imagine that. How do you clean
Okay,
that up?
well, you guys are obviously Star Wars fanatics.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys have lived, slept, breathed everything Star Wars since you can remember. Let's start over here with Nigma, because I don't feel like addressing CC's Pizza for a minute because of Thayers.
What are you talking about?
Thayers.
Hey, look, I didn't choose this name.
I'm just fucking with him. Hey, Nigma, what
Yeah.
do you love about the Star Wars as a franchise? What draws you in?
I think it's just because how vast it is. There's different eras people could love about it, or if you don't like the read, you got the shows and the movies. If you love the read, there's
Mhm.
tons of comics. If you only like comics, there's tons of comics. If you love reading books, there's tons of different books. I feel like there's so much variety within each of them. Like you read something kind of gritty like the Republic Commando series, or you could read some horror stuff like the Death Troopers book. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
just love the
Yeah.
variety
Yeah.
of it and how it all still connects together, even though some of the
Yeah.
stuff is widely different.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No.
why
They
I
say-
love it.
They say a lot of stuff isn't canon anymore, but it's canon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
let's talk about
okay.
Star Killer. Star Killer, man. Didn't they
Oh,
take
yeah.
him out of? Didn't they take them?
He was
him
never
out of
canon. He was
Oh, he
never
wasn't?
He was
canon.
never canon.
Star
Yeah.
Killer. Star Killer. You talking about from the
The games.
Yeah.
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed game.
Yeah.
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 Darth Vader's
Well,
clone
Project.
apprentice.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker's name originally Luke Starkiller? That's
Yes,
where he
Was
got
it?
that
that's-
name.
Yeah.
And they
it
also
was.
it
renamed
really?
the base.
Yeah.
His name was
Yeah.
Oh,
Star
that's,
Killer.
And the
that's
original
funny.
name of Star Wars was Blue Harvest.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For
oh my
some
God.
reason.
Wait. I'm sitting between two guys who listen
Oh, I know
everything
this.
Star.
I didn't know that. I didn't know this.
For
You
shame.
deserve to wear that arm. No, just kidding. In
Oh, God,
episode
man, I'm crying.
in episode I'm gonna
Helmet
shame
full
you.
of tears.
you're gonna have to change your helmet to have like little tear ducts coming out. Like
Oh
little
yeah,
tears
yeah.
coming out. You're gonna rust your armor. In episode 7, Force Awakens, the big planetary base was Star Killer base.
yeah.
Star Killer
Yeah.
base.
Well,
yeah.
that was an
Yeah.
homage to Star Killer. That was Luke's name, which was Anakin's original name. Which Anakin was Darth Vader, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I didn't know that. Wait,
Spoilers.
That little astromech, is that C-3PO? Spoiler.
The astromech. You mean
Yeah,
the trash
yeah,
can
that-
with wheels?
Oh yeah. My bad. That was my bad.
I'm
Everyone.
surprised somebody
bad.
really didn't walk up to the thing, lift the lid, throw in a fucking half-eaten croissant, and walk off.
I mean, did you know there was an actual midget inside that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
It was
holy
also.
crap,
It was
that
also.
hot.
It's not a. Are they
Warwick
allowed to be-
Davis.
Are they Warwick Davis?
Little
No.
people.
Yeah.
It wasn't Warwick Davis in the first one.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, I can't remember the name of the guy who was in the first one. He actually has passed away, but there was a movie that was all about having like the midgets as midgets, little people. What do they like to be called now? I can't remember.
Little people.
Little people.
Little people?
It was
Yeah.
called Time Bandits. Do you remember Time Bandits by any chance?
No.
Anybody?
No.
Time
I've
Bandits
heard
has
of
most of the cast is there's one little boy, and then it's all little people, and Warwick Davis is one of the main characters of that, and in that cast was the guy who was I can't remember his fucking name. I'll have to look it up. If I pointed to him, you would see him and recognize him because he's been in a lot of things as little people. But
It was Kenny Baker.
there you go. I think he has since passed away.
Yeah, he has.
He was in
81.
Star Wars Episode 1, A New Hope, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
He was also in. I think he was also in The Force Awakens. By the look of it, yeah, he was.
Why you gotta
No.
roast me, man? Why you gotta roast me everywhere?
I'm just fucking
I
with
mean,
you.
he's fire.
It's kind of what I do. The moment you start taking it seriously, that's probably when I'll stop. That's,
Oh, no, I
to be
don't take
honest.
anything seriously, Chief.
When are we gonna start talking about the stuff things in the clones? What?
Oh, meat
Hell,
bags?
talk about our server. No, Psycho, we're not here to talk about you.
Oh boy, here we go again, Enigma. Here we go again.
Stark Struckus says CC's a fake fan confirmed.
Oh, you know what? You know what?
I mean, he does say corrupt on his arm, so.
No, it's
Yeah.
just-
Also,
yeah.
Darman getting
okay.
his Jedi officer pregnant. What?
Wait, what?
Oh yeah. Darman
wait,
got
what? Back
Darman
up.
got a Jedi pregnant, had a child with him.
Oh yeah,
What?
Who-
I remember what you're talking about.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's the real Star Wars fan now? Huh?
Yeah.
No, I did not hear the who. I didn't hear who you said.
Darman got his Jedi officer pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darwin,
who-
which one is that? Is that from the?
He's a clone commando. It was in the Republic Commando books.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I haven't read any
Darman
of the
Sakrata.
novelization. So
Oh, I haven't read
anything,
any of the books either.
anything that's
Darman Sakrata.
novelized or comics or anything like that,
RC or IC 1136,
I've never read any Star Wars book ever.
Are you
affectionately known
serious?
as Dar.
I know all of this.
Psycho is asking us to
Never.
talk about his staff.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh,
No,
that's-
no, no.
When are you going to talk
Hey,
about
hey, go-
about stuff things in the Clones CC
What?
Just ignore him.
Yeah, just saying. I'm being told to ignore him now. Okay.
I
ignore
regret
him.
putting that in our server now.
don't. It's
Regret it.
fine. I was just wondering what the hell he was talking about.
Dude, there's some things we don't even know what he talks about.
So,
It's
okay.
just-
Do we want to start at the beginning, or do we want to start to talk about the latest? Which way you want to go?
I mean,
It's
I wouldn't
dealer's
mind
choice here.
starting. I wouldn't starting at like Old Republic type stuff and working up there.
Oh, you
Yeah.
want to go old school? Which, by the way, I hear
Yeah,
that they're actually
you
going
know.
to go Old Republic next.
Thank
Really?
God.
I that's I hear it's going Old Republic. They're gonna finish out this saga, which is the Skywalker saga.
It's the Game of Thrones guys doing it too. So it's gonna be good. Hopefully.
The two directors.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna make it's gonna be kind of like how you have the mainline movie, and then you have like Solo, and then you have and you had Rogue One. They're gonna
Yeah.
do the Old Republic saga as its own thing, separate from the mainline saga going forward. They're going to give this a rest, probably another 20 years before we see anything that's going to be going
exactly.
forward. And,
Darth Revan confirmed?
Not confirmed. No, none of it's confirmed.
Dang.
Which honestly, anything from
Darth Revan's cool.
anything from the games, you might as well just consider it not to be, in there whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna. Now this is just speculation. This is not confirmed. I have different things, different sources that I'm hearing different things from. But I actually, what I understand is they're. Do you remember not long ago they released a new Old Republic game, the one of the Empire with the two boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
the
seeing that.
twin boys, and the one in the white turned bad, and the one in the
Yeah.
black turned good, and it was about the father, the emperor or whatever, who was like a real mean son of a bitch, and
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be it's gonna take, if I am understanding correctly, it's gonna take place in that timeline,
All right.
That'd be kind of lit.
which I think is after Dark Revan,
That'd be kind of lit. I wouldn't mind watching it.
which some people have actually told me that's actually Darth Plagueis.
No, Darth Plagueis was Darth Sidious's master.
Yeah.
Right,
Sheev
but
Palpatine.
Okay.
Can't get over the fact his name is Sheev.
Sheev.
Yeah.
Sheev Palpatine.
It sounds like a sheath, like you put your knife.
But that's his
in
first
the
name?
Yeah.
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 Wait, hold on.
Sheev
That's his first
Palpatine.
name.
You didn't know that.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
No, I do it. No, I do it. I do it. I do that.
Uh-huh.
Spell it, CC. Spell it.
Oh no. No. I'm
Knights of
gonna
the
say-
Fallen
I'm gonna-
Empire. Thank you, Pink. Appreciate that. It is. It was a Star Wars Old Republic expansion. Thank you. Yeah, your guys in my chat is fucking
Mandalorian Wars,
awesome. You
that'd be
guys
cool.
need to come out more often.
Yeah, no, like I said, we got a
Yeah.
400 plus server, dude. We'll do whatever you guys want to do.
All my people are expecting me to be on Sunday, so none of my people showed up tonight.
Oh, dude.
Everybody's like, "What's this Wednesday garbage? I got work in the morning."
And Shelby's streaming too. So that doesn't
Shelby,
help.
yeah. Shelby. I invited Shelby, but she's like, "I don't know shit about Star Wars." I was like, "You'll fit right in."
Okay, you know what?
Got him.
Dang. You're roasted, dude.
Go toasty.
Welcome to the party.
Definitely.
You getting a little hot under the collar there? Okay. So,
Yeah, a little bit,
all right. Honestly, the Old Republic stuff, I don't know a whole lot about. I just know
Oh,
what
neither.
I've heard, and I never fully got into the KOTOR stuff really heavily and everything. But go right ahead. What you got? What you want to lay on me?
Hey, come on, man.
I mean, like what? I don't know, the Old Republic is such, even in itself, is such like a huge area I could go in. Like you got the you got the Mandalorian Crusades, then you got the Neo Crusades, and then there's a bunch of stuff there that it just depends what topic you want to hit. Like there's a bunch of stuff there.
Old Republic? Start with
Yeah.
that, yeah?
Yeah,
I thought that's what he was talking about, right?
Yeah, no, there's
Well,
tons
like,
of stuff
no.
there, but like there's specific sections, you could
What-
talk about,
Yeah.
What is it
Yeah.
about the Old Republic? Why should I care about the Old Republic? To those people at home who don't know the Old Republic, sell them on the Old Republic. Why go Old Republic? Why not go
Proto
forward?
sabers.
proto sabers.
I think it's honestly like if people, a lot of people like who like just like I don't know, I guess you could say kind of like a chaos to it because the world was like the galaxy was like on fire because at different points there's the Mandalorians crusaded and then years later they crusaded again and then there's the Sith Wars and then at that time like within the movies and all that stuff you only see 2 Sith at a time but with this there's
Yeah,
hundreds or
'cause they came with
thousands
the
of
rules.
Sith.
Yeah, that's before the rule of twos.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And
before
there's
Rule 2.
like if you even look at the cutscene for Old Republic, you literally see the Sith Empire invade like Coruscant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
just
I have a
take
question.
out
I have a
Jedi.
question. I fully understand the rule of 2. However,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, in the Old Republic, the rule of 2 wasn't for all Sith. It wasn't always only 2. It was a master apprentice section sex.
Well, at the
like
time it didn't
different areas.
exist. It's because of what happened during that timeline is why it was made.
Yeah.
Because during that time that there was so much infighting between the Sith that it came to realization of like there can only really be 2 because there was so much infighting they were killing each other while killing the enemy. So
Yeah.
like there was 2 wars within inside one.
I always thought.
Even though Palpatine kind of threw that out the window a few times. in Dooku.
Yeah.
I always thought that it was more along the lines of the reason the Sith had become so powerful is that in the mythology of the light and the dark side of the Force, there must always be balance. That tells me as an educated person that there is a quote unquote finite amount of power to be shared of the Force, because if it is in all living things and it is what creates and binds us and is constantly pulling apart at all times, it is what balance is, then there's always good, there's always bad, there's always high, there's always low, there's always dark, there's always light. So if there's a certain amount of dark, let's say there's 5 million dark and 5 million light. If there's only 2 to share the 5 million and there's 1 million to share the 5 million, then those 2 are going to be stronger than any of those million.
My brain hurts.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's part of it. I think, if I remember correctly, I think that might be the reason for the prophecy that they had for Anakin.
The bringing of the balance of the Force, which there's a lot of misunderstanding about that.
The one to bring balance.
The one to bring balance. So what does bring balance? Does bring
Great
balance
Jedi?
mean to
They didn't
bring
know.
down? He needs to bring back the Jedi, knock him down a peg, bring him back a little bit. Does
I mean, whatever the Force wills, I guess.
technically?
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to perspective at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
to a
yeah.
degree.
Technically, if he was responsible for the birth of the twins, Luke and Leia, wouldn't they be considered bringing balance into the Force? Because of
I think that was just kind of part of it, like
Yeah.
I feel like if you want to look at it
that's
like
not how the
in
Force
a-
works.
in
I
a-
know, Candyman.
in a way of perspective that you can make the claim that because Anakin went down the Darth path, the Force corrected itself while him impregnating Padme and them having the kids, so the prophecy could still happen no matter what.
Yeah.
You could argue that, it's possible.
So
Yeah,
real
there's-
quick though, how did Padme actually die though? Was it actually Palpatine?
She died
doing,
from a
or did
broken
she just
heart.
Die? Oh,
I-
okay.
Fair enough.
I mean, literally, she died giving birth to the twins because her heart gave out. She
No,
literally,
not
they
even that.
literally
I
said,
think
they literally
Palpatine-
said she
oh, yeah.
lost the will to live.
Yeah.
And
that is
Obi-Wan
what
sending
they
back
said.
there. She
I actually
lost
just
the will
watched
to
the
live. Are you fucking serious?
I actually just watched the movie a day or two ago, and the droid said she's physically fine. There's nothing that they could find wrong with her. They didn't know what was wrong with her. She just died.
The
Huh.
droid said
I
she
like
lost the will
the
to
theory
live.
that Palpatine finished her off using the Force better.
Yeah, it just seems like a colder
seems-
plot,
it's- Yeah, it seems colder, like because he's
Yeah.
trying to increase the
Get
amount of
Anakin.
anger in Anakin.
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I honestly,
Making him powerful with the
I
dark
think
side.
it's possible that he made her sick, and it might be something that it might be his doing that made her sick and made her
Poisoned her midichlorians.
Is that even possible?
I don't know.
Are we allowed to
I
say
just wanted
those?
to say
Are we allowed to
midichlorians, then
say that
vomit.
word anymore? Is that even?
Yeah.
I know it's canon, but for the love of God, you know how much hashish he must
Nah, I
have been
hate-
smoking
yeah,
to come up with
I
that
hate
shit?
midichlorians.
Well, why do people not like that? Like I don't know. I kind of
Because it literally spits in the
Right.
face of the way it was, of what it was explained, of what the Force
Yeah.
is in the first place.
Microscopic organisms.
Yeah,
It's what
fine.
it's
In
what
your
it's what
bloodstream.
makes the Force inside of us. No, it's not. That's not how the
Yeah.
Force works. Sadness,
Oh, yeah, also-
sadness, the real killer. Yeah.
Also, Shadow Trooper 376 in the chat said Darth Bane said "Ya yeet" to the Sith Order and said "Rule of 2."
Yeah, no, that's exactly what
If
happened.
Enigma doesn't know it, then I will.
No, that's exactly what happened. I'm not trying to go, like,
Basically,
into
he
it.
yeah.
he just Darth. Which one was it? Sidious?
Darth Bane.
Darth
Darth
Bane. Sorry.
Bane.
Darth Bane basically decreed. There must be only 2 Sith. Now fight for my
Yeah.
amusement.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
fight-
that's for me. There needs to be a master and an apprentice, and the master gets weak, or I guess if we're gonna say really ghetto, is caught lacking. The apprentice kills the master. the apprentice becomes the master and
The
finds a new
master
apprentice.
So wait,
and
so
Okay.
wait,
rinse and
what
repeat.
is what about like a Shaw's Ventress? Like this is kind of like adepts, right?
Exactly.
Like,
And what are
what
the
is that
what are the enforcers?
And Count Dooku.
And Count Dooku.
Oh,
yeah,
and Darth
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Who
and
was
and his
thought to be dead,
brother.
but he comes back with robot legs.
And his
Are
brother.
they considered?
Yeah.
Are they considered Sith, or are they just considered adepts, or like what
Because
class? are
he
they fallen?
was Sith,
Yeah.
but then he was imbued with magic from
from
the
Mother-
witches.
Mother
the
Townsend.
witches
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
swamp.
Mother Townsend. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's the mirror, I think. Yeah,
Essentially, they're assassins who can use the Force, not full Sith. Shadow
Yeah.
Sith.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
essentially, the assassins who can use the Force, not full Sith.
Strucker said, "Is it really a surprise that the bad guys don't follow the rules?"
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, you want to, if you actually just follow what's on TV and film and stuff like that, the bad guys follow the rules more than the good guys.
Oh yeah, especially in Old Republic too.
Yeah.
Old Republic, they were more more just than the Republic back then. You know,
Yeah.
at least that's what I thought. I mean, I don't know.
In my opinion, there like no one was a good guy in the Old Republic. In my opinion,
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
I want to circle back for just a second. We were talking about Anakin bringing balance to the Force. Now,
Yeah.
everyone has seen the Clone Wars saga, right? The
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
Clone
Yeah.
Wars, not the Attack of the Clones, the Clone Wars. Now,
That TV
which-
show.
there was I think it was a 4-part episode where Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka, which they're
Oh,
bringing back
yeah.
Ahsoka.
And what
Ahsoka's
about
getting
the
Ahsoka's
first
getting live action.
animated series?
No, anyway, they crash on
Even
this
before that,
this planet.
yeah.
Hold on, they crash on this planet. In this planet, there's three humanoids, a father and
Yeah.
his son and his daughter. The daughter is the light, the son is the dark, the father is the
Oh, yeah.
balance.
Yeah,
Does
remember
anyone-
that art.
Everyone
I
remember?
remember that.
Remember that
Yeah.
art.
I can't
remember
remember.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they tried to have Anakin become like
To
like,
he
Or
tried.
replace
Yeah, he
them.
tried to,
On
to,
one side,
re-
yeah.
to
Or
replace
replace them.
the.
Yeah.
He wanted to replace him, but when he refused, the father wanted Anakin to replace him. But when he refused, he was like, "Okay, well now you got to kill my son."
Exactly.
And Anakin was
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm not going to kill your son." And he's like, "Well, if you don't kill my son, he's going to kill my daughter. And if he kills my daughter, then there goes then the light side loses and the dark side wins." And they can
Yeah.
change their shapes, by the way. Which I
Yeah,
Yeah,
thought
it was a weird episode.
that was I don't know what
This
they were
was some of my
smoking.
favorite
on that,
episodes,
but-
too.
Honestly,
See, I
honestly.
can't remember the name because they're a race of beings. I can't remember
Oh, I
their
don't
names
remember
off the top of my
this.
head.
Yeah. Maybe some of the
Yeah.
comments could clear
Forest
that
Planet.
one. 'Cause- Yeah, that's what it was.
It
Yeah,
was
that's
actually
true.
it was
There's a name to it because it was that pyramid thing. There's
Yeah.
another name. I
Yeah.
can't remember the name.
and,
off the top of
and
my
it,
head.
it existed outside of time and space, and it appeared to them.
Like a
and they-
ascendant plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, kind of like a ascendant plane. Yeah.
Right, and it's in the all goings on. The father dies, the sister dies, and the brother escapes. And doesn't he come back later or something? He like comes
I
back.
thought he
in
died
later.
too.
No,
I think
they all die.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
all died.
I could have
Yeah,
sworn.
Anakin stabs him in the back after
But-
he's like
I'm gonna have to rewatch
Yeah.
that again. I have it on digital.
So shouldn't the Force technically have fallen apart right there?
Well,
Yeah. I mean,
So-
Well, they were still
But
balanced.
they were
though.
the embodiments. Oh
Somebody
yeah.
was
Still
telling
balanced.
me
None of them
oh,
are
the brother
alive.
does. Somebody was telling me a while back that this was Anakin bringing balance to the Force. That they were saying it over and over again. This is what you
Makes
were born
sense.
for. This is how you were why you were created, and blah blah blah. And it's like, and this episode was supposed to explain what the prophecy was for, but everyone was viewing it as a red herring. That was just something that they were using. You
Yeah.
guys don't remember
I
this?
thought it was Palpatine willed the Force and then Anakin.
yeah. What?
Created.
Well,
You think
while we're on this,
Palpatine impregnated his
yeah.
mom?
See, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
Force.
saying. While we're on that,
Did
while
he
we're
sneak
on
up
that-
on her and eject her with his midichlorians?
No.
No, they will.
No,
Him,
I,
him and Darth Plagueis willed the Force to
Yeah,
create
that's
life.
what happened. Darth Plagueis would manipulate metachlorians to because he just would experiment with
That dirty word again.
such like that. Yeah, and eventually, through him manipulating metachlorians, it wasn't on purpose, but in my personal theory, it was like the Force trying to give a middle finger.
Fight back, yeah.
And the Force and the midichlorians and the Force made Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
so
Anakin's
okay,
basically
so you're
Force
saying
Space
it's,
Jesus.
Yeah.
You're
Anakin's
saying
Space
that
Jesus
the
that turns evil.
Force created Anakin
Yeah.
kind of like as Space Jesus to get back
Yeah,
at Palpatine.
through the midichlorians because of Darth Plagueis manipulating the midichlorians, it made Anakin through the
And
Force.
meddling things that he shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I can buy that.
So the Force was kicking back.
I don't think I can buy that. I would actually I would buy that Plagueis made Anakin himself.
I mean, if
Well,
you want to buy
not-
that, you know, there's a
uh,
giant space centipede that guards
Palpatine.
beings that are cryogenically slept for thousands of years.
Uh huh.
Yeah, that's a thing. Well, in expanded universe, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So
Do we count the E EU?
I say we should.
I mean, the EU has a lot of things like the older
That's
public.
where a
Most
lot
of
of
it's
it is.
EU. So
Okay, but are we supposed to consider? We're not
I mean,
supposed to consider them as part of the canon story.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what Disney says, but Star Wars used to before
Okay.
Disney, so
Well,
in my
let's-
heart, it's canon.
Let's,
Yeah, me too.
Let's take a moment to sidestep this for just a second here, okay? Everyone has a special love and a place in their heart for the OG Star Wars,
Oh yeah.
the 4, 5, and 6. You know, all that. Everyone's like, what is your favorite Star Wars of all time? Go ahead.
I'd probably have to say the New Hope series with Luke, Leia. I wouldn't say I have a favorite movie, at least in that series, but that whole series,
yeah.
kind of kicked off, Star Wars, That made
The
three
OG
sequels
trilogy.
and
The OG
everything.
trilogy.
Yeah.
So the first,
yeah.
you could say the first one's your favorite then, because that's what started it all.
Oh, then
Yeah.
yeah, I guess the first one then.
With
would-
space
Yeah.
wizards.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
What about
Yeah.
you? What about you, Nick?
Uh,
I
All time.
kind of agree with that.
Can't live without
but,
it.
I'd say I'm kind of stuck between that and believe it or not, Rogue One. I
Oh.
actually I love
Oh,
Rogue
boy.
One because
Mhm.
it actually showed the war and the struggle that the the rebels actually had to go through and actually struggle. And in my opinion, it's like one of the only good Disney movies that
My
soared
favorite
throughout that they have to with Star Wars. But I love it because it wasn't a happy ending like everything else, and it kind of showed like the dark side of actual Star
Yeah.
Wars that not all the time the good guys always win entirely. It showed the actual sacrifice.
yeah.
Paper.
That's what I like.
Yeah, mine is A New Hope, the first.
Mine
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
always.
But
always
my
been-
favorite scene from Rogue One is the Darth Vader hallway scene. So
Oh.
Technically,
Funny
that's
memes.
the beginning scene of A New Hope. Now,
Yeah,
if you just
yep.
if you just play that scene and then go straight,
A New Hope.
play only that scene and then start A New
Yeah, but-
Hope right after it.
yeah, but the problem is that back when they did A New Hope, they didn't really have as much of a direction like that for Darth Vader. So it's kind of like Darth Vader's slashing through guys, and then just not as much.
It was an epic scene. It was
It
something
was
I
epic.
had
It
been
was
waiting.
great.
It was something
Oh.
I had been waiting for since I remember Star Wars for early days of my life.
It's everybody just running down the hall.
My
trying to get away.
entire love of Star Wars begins and ends with Empire Strikes Back. It's my all-time
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
You got
Mm.
some of the best story in it. You got where the truth is revealed to Luke, and he gets to find out that Yeah, and the greatest one line in all of movie history is like, "I am your father." You know, it's the big
Oh, yeah.
turn, the reveal. It's got technically the good guys don't win, so it's not like every other film out there in the world. Technically the bad guys win, in a
Yeah.
way. You got the ultimate struggle between the good and evil going on, and honestly, who doesn't love a good fucking
True.
snow speeder? I mean, seriously, who doesn't love
Oh,
a snow
yeah.
speeder?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
I
Get
don't
to see
understand
the
why those things
meteor.
only
I
hover
like
this far off the
the
ground.
snow armor for the stormtroopers.
Oh yeah, those are
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Snow
Those were
troopers are pretty
dope.
the
nice.
snow trooper
Oh,
is
yeah.
fucking dope on that.
Mhm.
I'm
Honestly.
being asked to ask Cece to tell me about the corruption in the Coruscant Guard.
Yeah, CC, how about you start talk about that?
What
Like,
is it? What is the
there's a-
corruption in the
okay.
Coruscant Guard got you all hot and bothered?
So if you don't already know,
I don't.
people don't already know at home either. Coruscant Guard is kind of. You remember the TV show where the Senate guards were there? The Coruscant Guard is kind of like that, but not as
Say you're
they're
a cop.
clones.
Just say
They're
you're a cop.
clones. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess they're cops, but I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
Like
the
in
stormtroopers were
Space
technically
cops.
cops. The
Stormtroopers?
stormtroopers were technically cops.
No, Shock and Stormtroopers are cops.
Wait,
The what?
stormtroopers.
Well,
Wait, what?
okay. The stormtroopers were basically cops on Tatooine. Whenever they go into the Mos Eisley, they're the ones
Oh yeah.
checking IDs.
Yeah.
They were like the
Okay,
space
yeah.
Nazi
Yeah.
cops. You know, they were like checking IDs,
Oh, yeah.
making sure people
Yeah.
didn't go in where they weren't supposed to. And they were like had carte blanche to do whatever the hell they
Sandtroopers.
wanted to.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
but you're saying there's a corruption in the Coruscant Guard.
Yeah, it's a meme running around one of the servers. So there's a reason why I have corrupt literally in Arabesh on this arm for that fact.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Alright.
it's yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's switch gears. Paper. In your opinion,
Mm.
do you think that Obi-Wan got down with Satine?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. No question.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
was this after he was after he had become a Padawan, or like this was like something that was going on beforehand, or it was like he was her guard or something, or
That's a good question. I think it maybe was in the early days of him being a Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was because I think
definitely.
at that point
Definitely,
Qui-Gon
yeah.
was still alive. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
well, he would
So,
have to have been because
When he was
Yeah.
more
It's
rebellious phase.
this happened before Episode 1.
Yeah.
Before Phantom Menace, because Obi-Wan wasn't a Jedi master in Phantom
Yeah.
Menace. It wasn't until Attack of the Clones,
Yeah.
because he was still the
Which
Padawan.
yeah, then he goes. They see each other again in the animated series.
Which
Yeah.
Aren't they
happens after
making-
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Aren't they making an
Exactly.
Obi-Wan movie?
Yes, they are making a
Obi-
TV show, but that
Obi-Wan
happens
is
in
coming
episode
back.
3 and 4.
Obi-Wan's coming back. Ewan McGregor is coming back as Obi-Wan. Congratulations,
Yes.
Internet. We win.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's why I got excited earlier,
Yeah.
and I actually
Yeah.
stepped
Ewan
on his
McGregor
announcement.
at D23. Ewan McGregor came on stage with Kathleen Kennedy. For those who
Mhm,
don't know, she's the president of Disney's, the Star Wars at Disney, Lucasfilms, and all that stuff. She is the one who says what happens. She's like the new George Lucas, only with
Oh
tits.
boy. Only with this.
And other things, but it's not necessarily about her being female.
No,
But
she's
I'm not
actually
gonna
she's
touch
actually
that.
she's actually really fucking good at what she does. But I was actually curious for the Mandalorians, like the Mandalorians' full story hasn't been told. Not a Mandalorian, not
Yeah.
not the
The-
rebels and finding the dark
Yeah.
saber and all that stuff, but like what
Yeah.
happened to the Mandalorians? Like they used to be this massive fighting army. They were like the Cleons of
The
With the Star
Mandalorian
Wars.
Wars.
yeah. There was like the Mandalorian. What was the Mandalorian Wars?
So, with the Mandalorians, originally, by the way, the original races were not human. The original races were made up of different alien species. They were just replaced humans after the Crusades and the Neo Crusades because all the original races were actually killed off in the raids during that. So, eventually it came down to mostly humans, which we see in the Clone Wars. Which
Yeah.
at that point, actually, in 2008, they made all the Mandalorian lore EU. So it just kind of ripped out that chunk. But it was just they just kind of crusaded. So there's some theories that like at some points in time there it was tons of Sith influence over there, which kind of was, I guess. That's why they would crusade against the Republic and stuff. But how a lot of the reason they did it is because the Mandalorians would like hunt for sport in a war and raid for sport, and that's how they would get together, and that's how they were, and eventually just came to crusades, and after that even other crusades, and after that they dropped off of that. But that's how Mandalorians are. They're not a race, but a culture who embrace, I guess you could say, the hunt. And like in Star
I
Wars
always
Republic
thought the
game,
Mandalorians
so that
were
they
a
hunt.
race of people.
No, it's a culture. Well, I guess maybe in canon now it might be a race, but in the expanded universe, it's a culture.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
the
like
Mandalorian
it's
Civil
just
War
like here
too.
on Earth, Terran, we're just humans. We're just a race of humans.
Yeah.
It's our culture and way of life is what defines
So, I
us
mean-
as humans.
So I mean, if you were born on Mandalore, though, would you be considered a Mandalorian then?
Yeah, you would be
Yeah.
considered a
Right.
Mandalorian, but being called a
Yeah.
Mandalorian is no different than being called a Terran or a Martian
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Coruscantian.
Coruscantian.
Chrysantian? I don't know.
I don't know why that's
Chrysanthemum?
funny to me.
That's a flower. No, it's okay. I always thought that the Mandalorians were not just a figure of mind and a upbringing, but it was a race of people that they were that was their way. That was that was like what made them was their ability to fight. It's their honor and their battle, and it's like the hunt and all that stuff. It was like that was part of their DNA. It was like what made them, and what made them so superior in all battle.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's not race, it's upbringing.
It's culture. Yeah,
it's teachings.
It's culture. Yeah, I mean, you can also even get like married into it, like, and you can get if like if there's a Mandalorian, like man or woman, you get married into the culture, into their clan, and you can embrace being a Mandalorian if they like find you worthy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's originally it was never humans. I can't remember the original two races of the Mandalorians, but eventually they were killed off because of all the crusades and the fighting and the raiding other planets.
Well, there's supposed to be
so-
two separate like individual governments on the planet.
The Tuang.
The what?
Taung. Taung.
I'm pretty sure it's one of the
humanoid
original planets.
simians. Yeah.
Yeah,
Indigenous to Galactic Core World Coruscant.
Yeah, because there's the ones that consider themselves civilized and above battle now, and they're trying to better their mind and existence now. Considering now I haven't read the EU books or anything like that, so my knowledge of this is going to be a little limited.
Yeah,
so.
Mandalore the First was
he was Twang.
Taung. Yeah, Twang.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
So,
it's pronounced.
What happened in
Who
with
conquered planet
the
Mandalore.
New Mandalorians, which is they're actually called New Mandalorians. The peaceful ones are called the New Mandalorians, and like Death Watch.
Yeah.
In the EU.
Death Watch, that's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the EU, what happened was actually this guy I'm wearing, Jasher Merrill. This is based off of. He became Mandalore, and when you become Mandalore, it means you are the leader of all the tribes, the clans, everything. You're the leader of your people.
Mhm.
And what happens is that he wants to be Mandalorians to be seen as respectable, as honorable, and he made something called the Super Commander Codex, which he based off other old Mandalorian rules that the Mandalorians used to use back in like the Neo Crusader days.
Yeah.
Pretty much ripped pieces from each other and made a Super Commander Codex that Mandalorians are supposed to be high paid, well, honorable, respectable mercenaries that can get the job done and just be that. But Tor Vizsla did not like that and became a Mandalore for a group called Death Watch because they didn't want to do that. They just wanted to stay to their ways of just being raiding,
Mindless violence.
dogs, and mindless violence.
And they were trying to undermine the government faction of Mandalore. Satine and all that stuff.
Well, what happens after that, when it comes to that area, the new Mandalorians just ignored both factions because eventually what happens is this is actually how Jango Fett comes in. Actually, the whole picture
Yeah.
of Star Wars. They're fighting on a planet, Concord Dawn, where Jason Mary used to be a German protector, pretty much a cop. Um, and when he was a true Mandalorian, he was fighting a battle with Death Watch and had to retreat. And eventually, I guess they were hiding out in the fields and in the Fett farm. And Death Watch came and killed Jango's father and the mother. And
Yeah.
Jango, I can't remember how, but he got a blaster and killed the man. And then eventually, Jess Romero found him, picked him up, and adopted him as his son. And years later, the next time you see them in battle together, it's when the True Mandalorians, which Jess Romero was the leader of, they call themselves the True Mandalorians. Went to do a normal thing. They were gonna go help out, like stomp out some insurrection or go help up some local military. And what happens was it was a Death Watch trap, and the Death Watch ambushed them when they're dropping on their dropships. Eventually, the second in command, Montross of the True Mandalorians, goes out in the field, even though Jaster said no, don't do it. Jaster goes tries to save him, and eventually Montross flees, and Tor Vizsla, the leader of Death Watch, comes up in a tank with 4 barrels and kills Jaster, and Montross leaves him for dead.
Sounds a little overkill if you ask me.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what happens is Montross tries to take control of the faction of the True Mandalorians. He's like, yo, Jaster died, Jango and Miles try to save him, they're dead too. Then Jango comes up with the body, and Miles is with him. They pull a gun on him. It's like, nah, you're gonna leave right now. They leave, and then what happens? This is why Jango kind of made the clone army. This is actually what happens next. Is years later, Jango becomes the Mandalore for the True Mandalorians, and Death Watch makes another trap. They said to a government saying, yeah, they're doing this all this stuff, blah blah blah. Hi, True Mandalorians. True, they go there. So what happens is the Death Watch lied and said True Mandalorians were killing innocent civilians, and then eventually the Jedi and the True Mandalorians got confronted. Count Dooku was there when he was still a Jedi, which is why he hired Jango Fett. And what happens is the True Mandalorians pretty much get all killed off during that one battle. But within that battle, Jango Fett kills 7 Jedi with his bare hands.
Oh my god!
And him and Miles are the only survivor. But that's why, about I think 20 years later, 10 to 20 years later, Count Dooku, that's also a reason why Count Dooku left the Jedi Order. Yeah, and eventually, finds Jango Fett, and that's what makes him the clone army, because he knew if you could kill a seven Jedi with your fucking hands, I'd want a clone army of him too.
Yeah.
Shadow says Death Watch are traitors.
Yeah. A lot of Mandalorians in the book say Death Watch aren't true Mandalorians, as in not the faction, but aren't actually a part of the Mandalorian culture and are like traitors to it because they're just evil thugs.
Yeah.
You don't underestimate Viscargum.
You seem to have a lot of history knowledge on this subject.
Oh, he does. He does.
So you got this from reading the novels and stuff like that?
No, I've never read a single Star Wars book. I just know all this.
How'd you learn? Don't tell me the internet. What kind of
I have watched
hundreds
and hundreds of hours of YouTube videos. But if you want an actual source of the comic, it happened in Boba Fett. No, sorry, not Boba. Jango Fett open season. In those series of comics, it's all happened.
Okay. Okay. I'll have to look those up for anyone at home that wants to take a look at those to see to read that in its full form. That sounds fully interesting.
Sounds cool. Yeah.
Now, on a different note, let's turn it from the novelization to just the film, just a little bit. The original set of films, 4, 5, and 6, and all that. It's like they created them. 30 years had passed, and or I don't know what was 20 years or 10, 20 years, and George Lucas decides to come back and let's start from the beginning of the saga and go with Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones and eventually Revenge of the Sith. Paper, tell me why the the prequel trilogies are worth watching?
Because it adds some backstory
Because it adds
to
backstory
Darth Vader
to Darth
and
Vader.
Obi-Wan's relationship.
Oh,
The relationship of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. So it gives that scene where they meet years later some more impact. I guess you could give that as a reason.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's exactly where I would go with it. Well, I was going to start with saying, well, let me defend the prequels by saying it's pretty.
Episode 3 is the best of the prequels.
All I can say is it's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. Episode 3 is the best, but I like Episode 2 always had a special place in my heart for bringing in the clone Phase 1 armor.
You can hate on Jar Jar. You can hate on the trade settlements. You can be mad because there aren't like any real space battles until the third one. Me personally, I hate on it because of that annoying kid in the first one going woohoo.
Yeah.
God.
Spinning.
The problem is that actor
it's
got bullied a lot.
I'm not gonna hate on the boy, the actor boy. I got no hate on him.
But the way they wrote the character.
Yeah, it was just come on. And then the need to cram so much other stuff.
It's working.
Yeah.
Now this is pod racing.
Oh,
God. I cringed between him and Jar Jar and the need to make everything connect. It's like, this is my son, Boba. Hey? You know, it's like, I mean, seriously. It's like, and I made this for my mom. It's 3PO.
Yeah.
And he's called R2D2? It's like, really? Does it have to connect? Does everyone have to be related to everybody? What?
Speaking of 3PO, why does he have red eyes in the trailer for the new film?
Because he's evil.
Does he really?
Yeah. Are they really gonna do the trope of he's evil because he has red eyes? No.
Okay,
so
you know what? You want to go there? You want to go there?
Talk about Rey.
No. Hold on. Wait.
No.
You want to go there?
No?
You really want to go? You really want to go to the? You want to jump all the way to the new one, the one that's
No.
We can do that. We can do that if you really want to do that.
I just thought of 3PO. Nah,
okay.
Let's keep going where we're going. Sorry.
No. We can go there if you really want to go there. We can talk about this if you want. I want to you called it though, Rey. I want to talk about Rey's lawn chair of a fucking lightsaber.
Yeah.
You know, it's like really, you might as well just put a pump action on that son of a bitch. I swear to God.
Right.
This is look. Go back and watch that fucking watch that. Pause it on her face.
It makes double-sided. Oh, what?
No, pause it. Don't look at the lightsaber. Look at Rey's face. And I don't mean how it looks like it's CG, because of course it's goddamn CG. But look at her face. Look at where the top of her head is. She got no hair. That character, whoever that is, that's a bald person. That person has no hair. She's got like a 5 head going on up there.
I mean, didn't a lot of the female Sith shave all their hair off like Ventress? But Ventress already had no hair.
Yeah. But what's her name
from
I can't remember her name, but she was not a Sith, but she was trying to be in the Rebels, one of the enforcers, inquisitors, or whatever. It was the woman who actually played the part was actually married to what's his name, who was in the Rebels, the main Jedi guy. Oh God, I can't remember his name.
Kanan?
Kanan, the guy who played Kanan.
Yeah.
Brady Prince Jr. His wife is the one who voice acted that character, that lady.
Really?
Cool.
That.
He was on a podcast whenever they were showing that, whenever show was on and everything, and he was talking about how he was watching that episode with his daughter, and he was like, "Yep, well, that's the last we see of mommy." It's like,
That's perfect. Oh my gosh.
It says, Shadow says, I have read the books through, and it's all true. If you were wondering, it's credibly. Oh, okay.
Wondering his credibility. Also, apparently, you skipped the part where Jango escaped slavery and murdered the rest of Death Watch.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What did I miss?
Jango escaped slavery and murdered the rest of Death Watch.
Yeah, because the Jedi. Okay, so the Jedi capture him, and then he goes put into slavery. And then he escapes, gets new armor,
Bando.
flies a ship onto their ship, kills them all, and leaves.
Jeez.
Yeah.
My God, Django. I didn't
Okay.
know you were so.
Let's
Holy
let's go
crap.
ahead and let's just kill. Let's just talk this elephant out of the room real fast.
Oh boy.
The last one is the last one of the saga is called Rise of the Skywalkers. I'm
Oh,
not
boy.
happy with the fucking title. It doesn't need to be called Skywalker of
No.
any kind whatsoever.
No.
And
Money.
it's there are no more Skywalkers. I mean, you have Luke's gone. The Leia is still around, but not really.
Yeah.
She's
I mean, there is Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren's not a Skywalker.
But he's a solo.
Yeah,
He's
but
a
he still has the
solo.
blood. He's
He's
still part
half
of the
a
bloodline.
Skywalker.
So,
Oh,
okay, and
that
then there's
would make sense for a theory that Rey turns
yeah.
evil and Kylo turns good.
you know,
But
people.
why would they do that at the last
I've heard
movie?
that going around. I've heard that going around, and honestly,
Yeah,
I could care less.
Yeah.
If
I
she
agree.
turns,
I agree.
You know, if she turns evil and he turns good, the only thing I'm gonna be like, the motherfucker killed Han Solo. Fuck him.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I was like, you killed my favorite character in all of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
The only person who comes close to Han Solo is motherfucking Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I
What about
mean,
Chewbacca?
But he's MIA.
Oh,
Chewbacca's
no Chewbacca.
Oh yeah, he's gonna
Chewbacca's
be gone
cool.
too.
Chewbacca's cool.
Right.
But I tell you
Oh,
what,
okay.
Chewbacca and all the Wookiees are cool just for being cool. They're like the Kardashians of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
They're awesome, and I like that they added more character to the Chewbacca in the last in the Force Awakens when he's
Ugh.
like he's like "Arr, arr," he's like, oh really, you're cold, really?
Oh God.
Yeah.
But
Now I
personally,
can't
if they
think of
make
Chewbacca's interaction with the porgs.
make
Oh.
Rey evil, I don't think I'm gonna care. If they
I think
make
it's a Force vision. I
a
think it's
what?
a Force vision.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I think
I
it's
think that
like
they're
on Luke on
Force
Dagobah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like
I-
the smart
Yeah.
vision.
I
That's what I
think
think too.
I honestly think that the term Skywalker is going to be their term of gray Jedi, to where it's going to be not the Jedi, not the Sith, a new order, and she's going to call it the Skywalker, as in that's what their
I
their
hope
order
not.
is.
I hope not.
That's the only thing I can think of.
hope not.
Because
I don't know.
she's
I
not a
kinda don't want that
Skywalker.
either.
She's not a Skywalker. She's not a Solo. Some people
As
are
far
saying
as we
she's
know,
a
she's
a
not a
Palpatine
Skywalker.
Yeah,
clone.
it's far.
I've
Yeah.
heard somebody say that because they found the lightsaber, they must have found the hand, and they used it to make a clone, and the clone came out as Rey. And that's why she's so force sensitive, and that's why she's technically a clone of Luke, and Luke basically Luke's hand.
I was seeing the ones. I was just hearing ones that are like she's a Palpatine clone but female.
Yeah.
She's
I mean,
secretly
Palpatine
the
did
Emperor
clone
the
himself
whole
once.
time.
Because he did do that in the extended universe. Palpatine did have many clones.
Yeah.
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 In fact,
He
the
did.
Red Guard that is supposed to be with him is supposed to be clones of him.
Oh my
and-
gosh, are you serious?
Right,
That's-
I didn't know that.
That was what I heard. That was the lore that I was
No,
understanding.
No,
In
they were just elite stormtroopers. Like they were
Yeah.
just like stormtroopers who went through that training and pretty much who
some
quite
cool
literally
armor, though.
survived. Who quite literally survived became it.
Yeah,
Pretty dope though.
yeah, it's some pretty cool
Okay.
armor.
Did
like the
you
shade of red.
play the most recent Battlefront 2?
Ugh.
Yeah.
The only good
just-
Battlefront 2 was the
yeah.
original Battlefront 2.
Did you play the story mode?
Sadly.
Didn't they have like they had like Palpatine was giving his orders through?
That was like through a robot though.
I was like a VI.
yeah.
That was like a VI.
So I never
Yeah, that
finished
was
the
like a
fucking
VI.
thing. That's why I'm asking.
It was kind of like
Forgive
a
my
recording
ignorance,
of
I'm
his
actually
face
asking.
on a
No,
robot.
no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my two favorite Star Wars games are the original Battlefronts.
Rogue Squadron.
I've never played Rogue Squadron, so I couldn't.
pretty
I
good.
like
that.
the Commando
pretty good.
series.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
commando
yeah,
was good.
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? I
I
have
have
the
that
Commando.
game.
I have the first one, and I never actually played it.
I have Republic
Oh,
Commando.
man.
It's good.
Game.
You know what's good? Battlefront and the PSP because you can actually customize your character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know there was a version on the PSP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're able
yeah.
to customize
Oh,
your
it's
rebel
great.
a little.
That's
like,
cool.
it's pretty
Yeah.
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Dr. Pink says prequels, if you look deep into it, built a lot of the lore up.
They did. They
Yeah,
did. I will
they
agree
did.
with.
They
I
did.
will
They
agree
did.
with
Definitely.
Pink. That would be. Now, personally, I don't like a lot about the prequels, but I like the fact that they exist. I was appreciative when they came out. I was there day one. I stood in line all night. I watched all of them in their entirety in the theaters multiple times. I'm not gonna apologize for the fucking prequels because the OG is where it's at. Period. But do you not feel like JJ kind of used our nostalgia against us just to make money
Yes.
for episode
Yeah.
7?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I love
Yeah.
episode 7.
And then Ryan Johnson completely misunderstood Star Wars.
Oh my God, Ryan Johnson did what that motherfucker did with the fucking X-Men 3. Fucking
yeah.
X-Men 1 and 2 sets everything up. X-Men 3 comes in here, knocks all the fucking toys down, and you gotta come in with Days of Future Past to set them all back up properly. It's exactly what Ryan Johnson did. We waited 30 goddamn fucking years for a new Star Wars to
Yep.
come out, and it looked gorgeous. The first couple of minutes of the fucking thing, you got Kylo stopping a fucking bolt with his fucking hand in midair. You got his fucking awesome little droid BB. You got a new Han Solo wannabe and Poe Dameron.
Thank you.
know,
Someone agrees.
So
Yeah.
what?
No, I always call Poe Dameron a Han Solo wannabe, and like
Yeah.
no one's ever agreed with me.
No. That's exactly what he's supposed to be. He's
Yeah,
supposed to be
exactly.
Han
your
Solo,
new Han
like
Solo.
Anakin.
I mean, he's an
Anakin
awesome
piloting
pilot.
crossover.
He's a rogue kind of a scallion kind of a guy, you
Yeah.
know. And if he wasn't part of the resistance, he'd probably be a fucking smuggler. To be honest
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
he's exactly what
exactly.
Han Solo is. And if him and Han Solo went out and had some fucking beers, they'd probably get into a fucking fight and be best friends. It'd
Probably.
be,
Yeah.
But
it'd be
too bad
amazing.
Han Solo's dead now.
Thanks.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna get a Force ghost?
No.
No.
Harrison Ford won't
No.
allow that. Harrison Ford's
I know
done.
I knew
He's done.
I knew he was gonna be dead when he agreed to come back because he said the only way I'll come back is if you kill me. Just kill me already. I just want to be dead. Just write me out, George. I want to be
Wow,
gone.
Let me
I
die.
like Harrison Ford though. I actually
Yeah.
generally liked Harrison Ford acting on a lot of
Me
his
too.
movies. Just Star Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
even
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. I thought
Except for
he did-
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We don't
You
talk
know
about
what?
that
You
one.
know what?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we can talk about that one, but you have to acknowledge the gopher
The Gopher.
in the very beginning, the fucking CG gopher,
Oh.
and
Oh,
the bullshit
yeah.
race with the Nazi, and getting launched in a nuclear explosion in a refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's
You know what? That's
Cause it was lead lined.
you know what? I learned things about nukes, and they're like, if you dig a 6-foot grave and you stand in it, depending on the yield of the nuke, you'll
Are you
live. I was like,
changing
wait a
your
minute.
attachments? You're like
Alright.
rotating your hand over here. It's like
Yeah.
it's like, it's
He's
like
loading up his poison darts
Oh
Exactly.
boy. Here we go again.
the oh shit.
and his grappling hook.
I keep the okay. Let's not go there with the fucking Indiana Jones for a minute, but because I am gonna go off on a goddamn tangent. Christopher, they were archaeologists the whole time. Shut up, Harris. Why the fuck does the monkey have the same hair anyway?
Oh,
Harrison
man.
Ford portraying that character was it was a match made in heaven. Han Solo is end all be all one of the best characters in the whole franchise.
She's the fastest ship in the fleet.
No, she's the best, not the fastest. You
Fair
made it in
enough.
12 parsecs. That's a distance.
Yeah.
They finally answered that one too. Finally,
Yeah.
like they made it in 14 parsecs. 12.
Wasn't that in the
Solo.
Solo movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I didn't
Yeah.
watch that one. I'm not
every
ashamed to admit
every one of their movies has like a fake name so that when they're shooting on location they don't have like it's Star Wars and everyone's gonna show up. They have like episode 7 was called Space Bears. It was- their lot title was called Space Bears, and the lot title for the Solo movie was called Red Cup.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Red
I didn't make
Solo
that up.
Cup,
I did not
I
make
fill
that up.
you up.
I actually
Let's have a
found
party.
I found that they actually had the script had Red Cup on the name of it, and there was
Oh,
signs.
that's funny.
Yeah, it was like red. It was like really.
Yeah, Solo. Solo.
You're so funny, Ryan Johnson.
Oh, I just got it. Red Solo. Oh,
Really?
I just got that. Oh,
Wait, who is that?
I just got
Who is
that.
that? Who do I have to look at?
CC? Everybody acknowledge CC for a moment.
I didn't
And now
realize.
shame him.
I didn't realize it till now.
Tisk
I had
tisk
to put it
tisk
two and
tisk. For
Shun the
shame.
non-believer.
For shame.
Shun the non-believer. Shun.
Psycho says, Cece, you had one job.
Not to fail. Wow.
Oh boy, here we
Wow.
go.
You know what? He was probably there for
Oh.
Order 66, and he was just like snooze.
I mean, my canon character, yeah, no, he was there in Order 66. I have to kill it. He killed. He
I'm
was
saying
there.
you, if you were there for Order 66, you would have hit the snooze
Oh
button.
yeah, no, I would. Yeah, no, I would.
Was
kill
that the
his-
Emperor? Snooze. 10 more minutes. Anyway, never mind. Wow.
Cece.
Okay, let's
killing
start.
me, man.
Let's open speculation. Is Ray gonna be
Alright.
evil?
No.
Nah.
No.
No.
No evil
no.
Ray. So
They've
is
built
there-
her up
is there
too much
any
for her to turn evil suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any redemption for Ben
Yeah.
Solo? There is.
Probably.
I mean, if there
might be.
was for Vader, I feel like yes for him because
I mean,
like,
they did the final movie of the original trilogy, and
Now-
it's mirroring the originals.
like
No.
a man who destroyed the whole Jedi Order, wiped out tons of innocent people on innocent
No.
planets, crusaded
that-
the
no,
galaxy,
hold on.
you know?
Wait. In the original trilogy, none of that happened. None of that
Yeah.
happened.
yeah.
None of that was. It was only mentioned in passing by Obi. Saying that he was Vader destroyed the Order and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
everything that happened in Episode 1, 2, and 3
wasn't canon when the originals were made.
wasn't canon when this was done. So when Vader got his turnabout and he saved his son and tossed the Emperor, all you knew was he was supposed to be bad. He was his father.
I mean, he
and
still
he
got
saved
a
his
planet
son.
blown up.
He did. He blew
Or
up
Alderaan.
Alderaan.
Never stood a chance.
Poor Alderaan.
Just
you know
one day, wake up,
even
just
back
get
when that
someone having
movie-
a cup of coffee, all of a sudden it's...
All right.
even when I was a kid and I saw that movie the first time, I turned to my dad and I was like, "So he was looking for the rebel base in Alderaan places?"
Hey, fire, like you said earlier,
Why?
fire, like you said earlier, the exit's over there.
Oh,
I don't know if you
why?
can
It's my
Go.
show.
Oh my.
I was a kid. I think I was like,
Uh,
I don't know, like 7 or 8 or I don't know,
That was
9
funny. as
maybe.
shit. That was funny. as
Um,
shit.
anyway, so when Vader gets his
Oh.
turn, he turns from heel to face. He was actually none of that killing the Padawans and all that shit. It's like if you say that there's redemption for Vader,
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do?
you know what?
There's too many of them.
I'm a father. I'm a father now, and I saw that movie for the first time, and I was like, oh, that's horrible. But I saw that movie after becoming a father, and I was just like, wow, that has so much more impact now. That's just
Yeah, I
like
imagine
that,
so.
Yeah.
that kid like shuffling backwards when the saber lights up and everything. You
Yeah.
know, it's like
Yeah.
it's like
Oof, I'd
none of you
imagine.
have kids or anything, right?
No,
It's like-
No,
it's like-
not
no.
yet.
it's like
Thank
you have
God.
when you
Thankfully
have a
not yet, yeah.
child, there's this. My son is 5. He's awesome.
Oh,
By the way, he
that's
loves Star Wars. He loves Spider-Man
Really?
more, but he loves Star Wars.
Oh.
No, he loves Gwen's movie.
Spider-Gwen. Yeah.
Spider-Gwen's movie.
He loves
Praise
Spider-
him,
Spider-Gwen.
great.
I can't
Praise him
blame
up
him for
right.
loving Spider-Gwen. If you want to know the Spider-Gwen story, you can watch my previous episode, and there's
Yeah.
a whole story about him.
Cute
and
little story about that.
It's really cute. Anyway, so I saw that after becoming a father, when my son was around 2 and everything, and I was just like, it had so much more impact and everything. So it's like it's all at the place you are in your life when you watch these
Yeah.
films to what actually matters. You know, it's like if you're in a heavy relationship with somebody with a real love, right, and you see the story between him and her and their passion growing and their love building and all that stuff. You know,
Yeah,
it has
Han
more
Solo
of an
and Leia.
impact. Right. And
I love you.
it's-
I know.
Well, see, that's
Oh.
actually in my wedding vows. It's
Really?
the whole backstory behind all of it with Vader and all that stuff. It has more impact
Yeah.
now than it did then. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
there's,
so that's one of the good things about the.
I
prequels.
gave Vader the benefit of the doubt when I first saw it before
Yeah.
the trilogy. The original,
Yeah.
the prequels. I mean, but
Yeah, I saw the originals first too, but not when they came out, obviously.
I mean, he Ben Kylo, he killed his father. That's horrible. That's
Yeah.
horrible. But he killed a beloved character. That makes
Yeah.
it worse. But what else did he really do? Did he kill a temple of younglings? Did
No.
he blow
He
up a
killed
planet?
Admiral Akbar.
He did kill Admiral Akbar. You're right. Fucking burn him down. There's no redemption. You killed Akbar. No, there's no turning back from that.
And he didn't even get to say it's a trap one more time.
I know.
You know what? I honestly thought that they were gonna have him like
That would have been his
say it,
best last lines.
It would have been the last thing he said.
Yeah.
He's like,
it
but he
should have
wouldn't
been.
get the whole thing out. He'd be like, "It's up.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's a
Oh
trap," and
my
then they cut
God.
away to the thing
That would have been
exploding.
perfect. That
And then
would've
you
been
cut
Yeah,
straight
that would've
to
made it more bearable.
Leia doing Mary Poppins in space.
Oh god.
Oh my
Oh
god.
Oh, that's
Someone
like
with no
actually
formal
impossible.
understanding of the Force
Yeah, like
Ye-
that we know of. Like Luke could have told her some stuff, but they didn't express
Even
any of
then,
that. So it just seems
even,
like.
even
Okay.
then, though,
But Luke couldn't have done that. I don't think
seems
even.
I
Luke
don't get it.
Within the first day, Luke was using the Force without any real training, right? He just had a little bit of guidance. So you think in 30 years, Luke, who's now the master, who's now training all these, he wouldn't have taught his sister a few tricks? No.
I mean, but they never expressed
Breathing in
that.
space.
So there's no reason. Yeah, especially that.
Breeze, yeah.
That too.
Actually, not breathing in space.
Yeah.
Technically,
And
the explosive
shielding herself
decompression
enough.
would have killed her instantly. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah,
I don't care how
exactly.
strong you are
The
with the
Force
Force.
powers can do that too.
If you're not wearing a suit of some kind, I don't see how you're gonna fucking survive that.
But what about Plo Koon though? Plo Koon did it.
I mean, his
Well,
race
Luke's
is.
an alien.
Well, I think about it. His biology is
Yeah.
completely different than ours, and he doesn't
Yeah,
just breathe
it's not-
the oxygen as
Okay,
is.
true. All right.
Plo
Yeah.
Koon?
It was
Why,
nice.
why does this sound familiar?
Plo Koon in one of the episodes of Clone
It's
Wars.
like the second or third.
Yeah,
He's
he
Tentacle
him
Man.
him and his
Tentacle
troopers
Man.
were trapped.
No, he's
in
not
a-
tentacle.
No,
Yeah,
that's Kit
that's-
Fisto. That's Kit Fisto.
Oh yeah, that's
isn't
Kit
it?
Fisto. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no, yeah.
Um,
Plo Koon. I thought Plo Koon had the weird mandibles too.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
wears a mask. Yeah, no, he does
wait.
have weird mandibles, but he wears a mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
I know the
Yeah.
one you're talking about. It was
Yeah.
that was in
Yeah.
that was in one of the episodes where the droids were going around crushing
Yeah,
the
the
pods
pods.
that
Yeah.
the troopers,
Yeah.
the clone troopers were in.
Yeah,
I
and then
remember
he
that.
got out of the pod and he was just like, "Watch this." Just
Yeah. He's one, he's not human,
Yeah.
and two, he was wearing a mask, a breather.
Yeah.
Well, because he doesn't
Yeah.
breathe oxygen. I can't
Yeah.
remember what he breathes.
But why didn't he implode though?
Because
Hi-
biology.
One, he's not human. He's-
And
mean,
he can
guess-
be deep underwater.
you
So
know what?
pressures.
Here's the
But,
thing.
yeah,
There are
he can
animals
breathe
on
underwater.
Earth that could exist, that could live inside the vacuum of space for a short amount of time.
Like the sea bear,
Oh yeah,
or water bear. I mean,
sea bear.
the water bear.
Water
That's
bear.
that's the name of it, right?
It's I was actually thinking of a certain ant that was proven to live in
A tardigrade.
space.
Yeah.
I can't remember its
But, you
name.
know, oh, an ant.
Anyway, I'm not that big of a nerd. Don't forget the connection they had in episode 6. What's he talking about?
Yeah, tardigrades are the first known animal to survive in outer space.
What's he talking about? It's like it's pink. This was a
Uh,
little while ago.
Oh, the connection of Rey and Ben.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
The
Okay,
love connection.
Okay,
Yeah.
answer me this. They keep on. They seem to love to throw out new force powers, right? Everyone was like, "Oh, you got the mind trick, and you got the push, and the you got you can do the lightsaber swinging around because you're like manipulating it with the force and everything. You just,
Oh, yeah, the
basically you're doing
saber toss.
telekinesis. It's telekinesis. Is what the fuck it is, because it's the same thing as the push.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah.
but
It's just
now-
it's just
now you
different uses
have
of force push and pull at
force
the same time.
force astral
Projection?
projection.
Yeah, force
Astral
projection.
projection. Yeah. There. Yeah.
Force
yeah.
projection. I was like,
Yeah,
that's-
mind projection, and then there's Force hologram.
And there's the whole thing. It's like,
Which I don't-
can you put her shirt on? I mean, really, I don't want to see your fucking nipples.
And how
Kylo.
square he looks, how does
Swallow.
rectangle he looks. Yeah.
Does it
Ben
make you
Solo, that
nervous?
meme. Just
Mm.
square.
Tell me where you are, Ray.
We're sorry.
Mm.
We're sorry.
I'll find you, Ray. Mm.
Join me. We can rule the galaxy together.
Turn me,
God.
Ray. Mm. No, really, you do this too. You know, it's like,
We can lead the First Order.
it's like, dude, that could be your sister, or cousin, or something else. I mean,
I mean, look what happened with Luke and Leia when they didn't know they were siblings.
you
That's
know,
true.
Kylo force feed off to Ray. You know he did.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
No,
I can
okay.
see
There's
that.
there's the big mystery that was about like her parents were.
That's
and then
Psycho.
The reveal was that was fun, but to be honest, I'm going to bed. Night, Psycho. Have a good night.
Good night.
There's
Night,
supposed to,
Psycho.
her parents are supposed to be something of note, or she was supposed to be connected to someone in the
and then-
lore.
And Kylo says that, yeah, oh,
That
you're
they were
forgetting
nothing.
Yeah.
There's the
Junk
whole
traders, filthy junk traders.
yeah, they traded you for parts or something. And then there's the lore like behind it's like that Luke left her on the planet because of the whole thing with the Order of Ren, which by the way, are we ever gonna see the
Knights of Ren
Knights of
are in the next one.
Are
Knights
they
of Ren
gonna
the next
actually
one.
fucking
Yeah,
put it
they're-
for the
finally.
fucking
they're
5
in the
minutes?
poster.
They're in the trailer.
Yeah, they're in the poster when they first released it. You see,
They were
Really?
in the fucking
the
Force
trailers.
Awakens in a fucking
No, they weren't.
flashback.
yeah, in a
Yeah.
flashback.
Yeah,
Flashback,
but-
yes.
But they didn't do anything. They just stood there in the fucking
Yeah, I
rain.
don't know.
Toys.
They were
That's your answer. Toys.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
okay,
that's
you
a fair
tell
point.
me where the fuck are the toys? I can't find the Knights of Ren toys.
They have toys of that?
Me-
No, they don't.
No, I'm
they
not
don't.
saying that. No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying opportunities for toys.
Yes.
More
Oh,
characters equals more opportunities for toys.
Okay. Supposedly, Kylo Ren is from the Knights of Ren. It's some order, some Sith-like order where they're supposed to be not the Sith.
I thought he created supposed to have created the Knights of
I
Ren.
thought
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they took I thought that there was a former Sith like Revan and stuff like that. There was like a former big deal Sith that they were modeling their order after. Am I wrong? Am I incorrect? Have I heard wrong?
I'll be honest with you, Chief. I don't really dev into that Disney stuff. You know what I mean?
It's not just because Disney. It's it's the new fucking canon stuff.
Oh crap.
You alright?
Well, as
Yeah,
far as I know, they're just a bunch of people who found stuff about the dark side and learned about it. Like there isn't
Right.
too much to know
Probably,
about
there's
them,
probably like a
honestly.
holocron or something involved
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
I'm
Right.
sure there is.
Yeah.
I'm sure there
They probably got their knowledge from a holocron.
Disney just hasn't elaborated enough for us. We
Yeah.
just know they exist and that they're dark side users, really.
Honestly,
you
it
know?
feels like Rise of Skywalker should probably have been the second movie in the series
Which one?
because it kind of feels like the point in the story where they're at with like showing in the trailer. It seems kind of like something that should have been more of a second movie. Deal.
Yeah. Well, that was because.
But they're
it was
kind
fucking
of compensating
Rian
for lost
Johnson.
time because of Ryan Johnson, yeah. Who
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
understand Star Wars. He likes to think he does, but he doesn't.
Oof.
I was so
He
mad.
ruined
but-
Luke.
You know what? It was an epic fight, and then until I realized he's not really there, I'm like, you know what? This is fucking
mean,
bullshit.
It's a big troll. I can respect
It is.
that.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. You know what? You tell me.
Yes, Doctor, there are lots of Sith holocrons.
You tell me what in all of our history has had as much love and lore and history behind it as Star Wars. What has brought so many people together? What has been talked about so much but had so little to go on other than the EU and what we've had for
Maybe
the movies and
Warhammer?
show? Okay. Warhammer don't
Halo.
have movies.
Halo
don't have
isn't
movies.
nearly
Yeah, Halo
as
for sure, yeah.
complicated.
Oh,
This
yeah.
has the good stuff.
No
I love
movies, yeah.
Halo,
Hey,
but
you
it's
know
not
what?
nearly
Halo.
Yeah.
They need
massive.
Star Trek, Dr.
need
Pink said.
Star
But
Trek.
it's kind of apples and oranges, though.
Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Trek is the closest thing, but there is so much love throughout the fucking history and throughout the planet all together. There's so many that can just come together under one banner and say Star Wars. And then Ryan Johnson comes in and just fucking undoes his pants and he just fucking drops down and
Shits
takes
all
a
over it.
huge goddamn shit all over it.
It's because how it's how he understands Luke. As a kid, that's how he understood Luke.
You know, that's fine.
Remember?
You know, you can understand Luke how you want to. Don't fucking fuck
That's
with
not
my
Luke.
don't fuck with my Luke.
That's the real Luke would never have done that.
No.
He never would have
Exactly.
backed down. He
Like,
would have tried.
Luke-
He would have tried to redeem Ben no matter what, like he did with his
Exactly.
father.
Right. He wouldn't have tried to
Exactly.
kill him. He wouldn't have gone after
Which
him.
made
He
no
would have
sense.
He
Who's
wouldn't
the
have
one who
gone
always
off
see
to
the
the
good in
edge of the
people?
fucking galaxy and hid like a
Yeah.
little fucking hermit because
Yeah.
that's what he thinks.
Exactly.
I was like,
He
you know
wouldn't
what?
save the Jedi.
Obi-Wan
he did.
did-
Sense.
Obi-Wan did that for a reason. He did that to keep an eye on
He
Luke.
did it to keep an eye on Luke. to
Literally,
watch over him.
Yoda did
One of the
that
single men
for a
ever.
reason, to study the ways of the Force in an area that was extremely Force sensitive. The Dagobah Swamp was extremely Force sensitive. He
Yeah.
went there to better
That's why the
himself.
Force vision.
Yeah. He didn't go there to hide because he was afraid of what might happen. You know what? If you're so fucking afraid of what might happen, go up in space, open the fucking airlock, and get shot into a fucking sun.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first saw that movie, I was like, "Yo, Luke's coming back and he's about to whoop some booty."
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it didn't happen. At the very
Exactly.
last minute, it was just a.
That's
force
probably what it was
projection.
originally going to
Like,
be.
all right.
And then
I
they
was
would have had Luke
angry.
go down in a blaze of glory.
And
I
you
was
never
passing on teachings
you
to Rey.
never got your
But nope.
original fucking trilogy, the Holy
Yeah.
Trinity of Star Wars. You didn't get the Holy
Yeah,
Three
in the Millennium Falcon.
in the same scene together
Yeah.
after waiting over
Well,
35
four
fucking...
actually.
Did you guys get angry when he threw
Or
the
five, 4 or
lightsaber
5.
over his back too?
Yeah.
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 I got really angry.
Yeah.
I literally
Uh,
stood up in the fucking theater
Oh.
and was like, what the...
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
the branding now for that is it's Rey's lightsaber.
Yeah, I saw that and it angers me too.
Oh, that
Those are-
angers me so much. So
It's
much
Anakin.
that
It's
angers.
not
Yeah.
Anakin's lightsaber. It's Rey's now.
Nope,
It-
it's
so,
Anakin's.
like- Oh, and all the, and not and then I guess she didn't like, but like instead of creating her own lightsaber somehow between the movies like Luke did, they just have
He- he
her
ran
have
it, yeah.
yeah.
You
they
know
just
what?
gave
Even
it, they just gave it the
Kylo
same.
built his own fucking lightsaber.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kylo.
they
know,
brought the
it-
lightsaber back, but they put a band of metal over the middle. That's
It-
it.
It might look
To fix
derpy as
it.
shit, but it... they
Well, it
were-
actually kind of makes sense because of the loss of hands in the Skywalker family.
with the cross guard to... Yeah.
Yeah, the cross guard.
Yeah.
I don't like it though. I don't like that design though. It just feels clanky. You know?
Have you
Yeah.
held one in your hand?
Yeah. I got a Kylo Ren replica's lightsaber.
Yeah,
I-
it's
like,
the
that I-
fucking hilt
yeah.
on it is so fucking fat.
Yeah.
You can't do
yeah,
anything but high guard
Yeah.
with it. It's fucking
Exactly.
retarded.
Yeah.
And
you know,
I like the fact that it was like everyone was like, oh, it's just an exhaust port, and then he like burns fucking Finn's fucking shoulder with
Yeah,
that shit. He's like,
yeah.
yeah, take that motherfucker. And then
Yeah.
with the fighting is on point. I didn't like the fact that Rey was so force sensitive that she was able to go toe to toe with Kylo at the end of the first one with
Oh, I
just
didn't like
one
it either.
time of closing her eyes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about really hard. I'm gonna
And then,
concentrate. And now
How
I'm
the
gonna
fuck
whip your
can
ass.
Finn use a lightsaber?
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about
Luke Sky-
that
oh
for
wait,
a
oh,
second.
Han Solo was able to use it to cut open that tauntaun.
But he wasn't fighting with it.
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't-
wasn't fighting.
That
with
doesn't
it.
matter. Anybody can
He
turn the
used it as a
goddamn
cutting
thing on.
tool.
Yeah, but I mean,
He uses a cutting
but I
tool.
mean, like,
If I
but
give you a
mean,
sword, can you pretend to try to fight with it?
Yeah, but I think about a guy who's trained as
Yeah.
partially a Jedi and then a dark
Yeah.
side. You're telling me that he wouldn't be able to immediately murder Finn?
Yeah.
honestly,
know.
Oh, absolutely.
honestly,
He
At
was
least-
fucking with him. He was fucking with him the whole time.
really?
I mean, he would have cut him in half. But and
I guess.
Like,
the
You
thing
know,
is that
it's-
they couldn't kill him because it's fucking Finn. It's a
Plot
main
armor.
character.
Hey.
It'd be like killing off Luke Skywalker
Plot
in the
armor,
first fucking
yeah.
one.
I mean, Finn sucks in the games. Why not just kill him off now?
well, here's the thing about Finn. I respect Finn. Want to know why? Because he tried to escape and leave the ship and drop away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he,
can
he
respect
started
He's
having
like,
a
"Nah,
mind of
I'm
his
out."
own. Absolutely. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like,
His story
"Nah, I'm
arc
out."
was good.
All right.
His
While
story
we're
arc
on
was pretty
Finn,
good.
did anybody,
Mhm.
and I mean anybody, and that includes you at home, people, did anybody buy the love connection between Finn and Rose?
Oh
No.
no,
God.
No,
Collective
absolutely
groan,
not.
ladies and gentlemen. Thank
Absolutely
you.
not. Ugh.
Everyone,
No.
take that groan, clip it, and send that shit to Ryan Johnson. Thank you. Spent half of my goddamn movie on a planet that didn't make any sense, didn't need to be there,
Honestly.
to get
It was,
somebody that
it
didn't
was to
fucking
get
do
back
anything.
at the rich people, the bourgeoisie.
You know what?
And
They
that
sold
whole
ships
scene
to
made
the
no-
rebels too. Fuck them.
Yeah, and then they released the animals back on the planet, a planet where they're just gonna get immediately recaptured. We set the animals free.
You
Like,
set
5
you
minutes away
set
from the
those
town.
9 animals
Exactly.
free. Those 9 animals. What about the
Right.
other fucking 100 animals over there? What about the slave kids?
Yeah,
Did you set the slave?
exactly.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
set the slave kids
Who
free?
apparently are force
No.
sensitive.
Yeah, who apparently have a ring with the fucking rebellion symbol on it
It's
now.
it's their cereal box ring.
Yeah, it's got a secret Dakota ring in his fucking Wheaties, his Rice Krispies, his Jangos.
But also, speaking of Rose Tico, does anybody notice a certain lack of a certain
She's in
character
the she's
new
in the
trailer?
next one. She's in the next one.
Mm.
I thought she died.
No,
No,
she's
no,
alive.
No,
But
No.
She
Her
should've.
sister-
she
her
should have
sister
killed both
died.
of them.
her sister
She
died.
should've-
Which,
but-
by the way,
okay.
why the fuck are
Why
the
are those
bombs?
bombers?
Why are the bombs
Oh my
falling?
god, here we go.
Why are the bombs
Here we
falling?
go.
How do the bombs
Bro,
fall?
I will tell you why they're falling.
How is?
I will
Wait!
tell you.
I
Magnetic.
got one better.
Yeah.
How is the bay door open, and it's not explosive decompression?
I got
Force
rid of it.
field.
How does-
the
Ray
ray
shield.
shields?
The ray shields? Okay, fine. You know what? Fine. But
But then how do the bombs pass through?
the bombs, when they fucking leave the
Well,
fucking
look at the
ship.
commando riot
Huh?
shields.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The what?
Remember, you guys remember when they went to the prison that they rescued that one Jedi because he had
Oh,
information,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the commando
Yeah.
droids came in with riot shields, but they are
Uh-huh.
made of shielding. They could put their blasters through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess it's kind of the same.
Okay. Well. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I'll
Why not use
I'll
Y-wings
give
though,
you the possibility.
which are 1,000 times more effective, and
I'll give
B-wings.
you the possibility of gravity even inside the ship, but once they leave the ship, they lose. They only have the momentum that they had, right?
Yeah.
But it shows them falling in an outward pattern, like as if there's a force moving them around, like gravity, because the thing is
Yeah.
moving. So they're
I
falling
mean,
in
the ship behind it or the ship below it. I mean, that's a big ship. It's got to have a big
And- and if-
generator,
Gotta have
right?
a
If there's
yeah,
so
gravity
few
generator.
rebellion.
if there's so
Still.
few rebels left, why were there so many ready to give their lives for this one maneuver to block them to keep so that everyone else could escape? And also,
And why not
how the
use
fuck
Y-wings
did they
and
get
B-wings
this
again?
fucking mission approved without Leia signing off on it in the first goddamn place?
Yeah, you got a
Yeah.
point. You got a point. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know what, Ryan Johnson?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
every time I even fucking think about that movie, I think of reasons why I don't like it. The nostalgia stuff, I love it. The CG, I love it. The fighting on it, I love it. I loved the part where Hux was trying to talk smart to Big
Oh,
Bad.
yeah.
What's his name?
Snoke.
Snoke.
And then Snoke's like, "Fuck you," slams his ass,
Also, who
drags his.
the fuck is Snoke?
Oh
Exactly.
yeah. Who is Snoke? Is I think it might.
We'll
be
never
That's
fucking
Palpatine's
know.
clone.
That was another
I
thing.
think it might be
Technically,
Maybe.
Snoke's not dead.
Palpatine's clone.
We'll never know because he's dead.
Oh yeah.
Is,
They
that's
cut
is
him in
he
half.
dead?
Yeah.
Is he
How did you
dead?
not see that
was
coming?
Was he cut in half? Was he not a
Yeah, he
force
was.
proje- Could
Yes,
he
he
have
was
been a
cut
force
in half.
projection?
No.
No, you
Oh,
see the you
no.
see it move. Like you see like the body drop. I thought, or at least his
You
head.
do,
you
yeah.
do.
So can he force project that? He's so powerful. He would have known that he
No.
would have seen that thing
Yeah,
coming. He would have
Fair, because
I'm gonna be
how the
honest-
fuck would he not
and-
know that Kylo was gonna do that? Like he's like sees his true enemy and strikes true, but it's like
And even if he didn't,
so fucking
he
smart.
could have used
Yeah.
his powers to play along,
stop. Yeah.
even to
He
stop
probably,
it.
I mean,
Oh.
because how Kylo can stop a blaster bolt? How could he he could if he's more powerful than Kylo, he could stop the opening of like the the extension of a lightsaber.
Would you say that he is more powerful than Darth Maul?
I think anyone's really powerful.
Yeah, Darth Maul. People
Darth
like
Maul
Darth Maul
wasn't really
because
even
he
force
looks
sensitive. He wasn't
cool.
force sensitive really.
But
Yeah,
the big
everyone likes
bad,
him 'cause he looks
the
cool.
big bad. Fuck, I just lost his goddamn name for some reason. And the one who got cut in half, we were just talking about him.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul got cut in half.
No,
Right.
the other one.
Snoke.
Oh, Snoke.
Snoke, thank
yeah.
you. I don't know why I blanked on his name. I went fucking retarded for a second there.
Yeah,
Do you think Snoke is more powerful than Darth Maul?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
No question.
Darth Maul got cut in half and he lived.
Well,
Yeah, but he had
Yeah,
he had a reason to live though. Like he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna kick
Insidious
Obi-Wan
Yeah, it was-
Kenobi's butt."
You guys are kind of
You know.
overdoing
So
it. You have to remember who directed what. Let's be honest.
yeah, you're right.
No Sith is really gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pink.
Yeah.
No one's ever really gone.
I mean, yeah, you got the Force, the
No one's
cosmic
ever
energy.
really
If you
gone.
strike me
You gotta-
down, I'll become more powerful than you could imagine.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
technically, didn't they
Do you
just
guys
make
not
him
remember that line? No one's ever really gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in one
I
of the
remember-
trailers.
I do. I remember.
No
one.
one's ever really
Okay.
gone. And then Plinkett
Let's-
was like, "No one's ever really gone," making fun of it.
Palpatine
No
laughed.
one's ever really gone.
Let's take a sidestep and just keep on about this trailer for the new one coming out, Rise of the fucking Skywalker. Which let me see. Let's see. The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi to Rise Rise of the Skywalker. Yeah. See, all of these are kind of like getting up in the mornings.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
uh,
I let's remember that meme.
Yeah, I was solely hoping that the new one, the last one, would have something that would connect The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, who's late for work or something like
Yeah.
just whatever. But the
Oh yeah.
in the new trailer, the one that just released about a week or two ago, with they show the fucking lawn chair folding lightsaber bullshit.
Oh god.
They have Rey and Kylo fighting on some machine that's in the water.
Honestly. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna point out that if you look closely in the reflections of Kylo, he has no cape in his reflections, but that
Yeah.
could just be a CG error for now. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, probably.
You know what was really interesting? When the first trailer happened, I swear in the background for only a split second, when they're showing some of the space stuff, I saw a Venator from like the Clone Wars.
No,
Really?
maybe. I wouldn't be
Possible.
surprised.
I swear I saw like the bridge.
I wouldn't be surprised if the
Yep.
Resistance
The-
scrounged up one of those because they have
the-
no ships left. Their fleet
The
was destroyed.
shot with all the Star Destroyers up there, like a fucking chess set waiting in space. If you look at them, they're not First Order. Those are
Imperial.
OG Imperial Star Destroyers. Those
I would-
aren't
yeah, again,
First Order destroyers.
I'd say that they're running out of resources, so they're gonna resort
I think
back
that's
to the
like a
originals.
graveyard, like a Star Destroyer
Yeah.
graveyard.
Probably
kinda,
like they're not
not a
actually
graveyard,
active.
like
they're
they're,
just sitting
like-
there.
Yeah,
in
it's
Legends,
like it's like
in
there's
the
like
universe,
this
out there.
it's like an armory that's fully loaded. It's just like sitting there waiting to be used. It was like there for reinforcements
Yeah.
well, it's abandoned because the Empire was
Fell apart.
fell apart, so they were just left there. So I mean, anyone who's ever been on an old military base after it's been shut down will know that you can find some stuff in there.
Yeah, but
Um,
how would scavengers not have come in and stripped everything by then?
Well, you
Is
saw
it
it was
some
like all
remote part of
stormy
the
and
system?
everything. It's probably in a hidden section area where it's
You know,
Probably.
in the expanded universe, there was a super star destroyer in Coruscant inside the planet, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did anything else weird
You know,
like
that
that.
sounds that's pretty
That-
cool.
that
That's cool.
And I wonder, we got First Order. Right? I wonder if
The
is
Emperor's
that the
secret fleet, yeah,
only is that the only remnant of the Empire that
No,
actually did
I doubt it.
something?
There are
They're probably
like,
gonna try and tie it into the new
I think
Battlefront
there were
story.
two
There's-
different ones that went separate locations, but
Yeah.
one made the First Order. I think I'm not sure. I think the other fleet, it's like they went MIA or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
What about the-
latest thing I keep
but-
hearing as a rumor is about Palpatine is technically not dead, and if
Yeah.
that was Palpatine that they were killed, that it's not the only Palpatine. It's like there was like the clone thing, and Palpatine's been pulling
Yeah.
pulling the strings behind. He was pulling Snoke's strings, and he's actually the one over Snoke, and Snoke was was
Awesome.
That wouldn't shock me because
Wouldn't
shock me.
in expanded universe, the
Yeah,
Civil War went for another 20 years because
Yeah.
there are so many clones of Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But
So
that's
wait,
in the EU now, so but they could pick and choose just like they did with Thrawn.
Sith holocrons weren't
My
in
question
canon
is-
until they put in Rebels.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah.
actually put that in the Clone Wars. The
Yeah,
holocrons
they
were
did.
in because
Yeah, but it was on the Jedi
didn't
holocrons.
Ahsoka find one or something?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I might,
I think
it did,
so.
yeah.
I might
Yeah,
be wrong.
maybe.
By the way, I can't remember.
Hold on.
Refresh my memory. In Rebels, Ahsoka isn't really dead.
No, she's
She's a
well,
great Jedi.
Yeah, she's a gray Jedi, and then you see her fight Vader, and that's like the end of her story at that point. You don't know if she
But-
lived or she died.
No,
That's it.
after that, they would like, she's not dead. She's actually she comes back
She
Yeah.
finds out that Anakin is Darth Vader because his mask gets
after that.
damaged.
Yeah.
And then he says, "If you stay, you'll die." Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I want to.
but he
I
lived.
want.
but yeah, she's gonna be still alive.
I want to talk about back to the Palpatine thing. Because we know Starkiller. He's not canon, of course, but Palpatine though. I wonder if it's possible to actually clone someone that's force sensitive and then
Yeah.
being force sensitive as well.
Yeah,
I
Supposedly
mean,
that
that's
was
couldn't they
Starkiller.
just transfer their Force Ghost?
supposedly
Yeah.
it was.
Does
Yeah,
that
that's
work like
another
that?
thing that Palpatine's Force Ghost is possessing something like a.
No,
there's
that's what
this-
he did. He would transfer his soul to each clone, pretty much.
Wasn't
That's
it?
so weird.
No, this is in the EU that I remember hearing about. That there are old Sith relics that are imbued with powers. They're like
Yep.
sought after relics in the Sith
Yep.
religion, to where like you find so and so's helmet, or you found so and so's
It
saber,
enhances
or
your Sith abilities.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you like get their abilities or something.
Essence.
Yeah, their energy.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
All right.
so that's why the lightsaber.
Which is another reason why midichlorians are bullshit. Because midichlorians would not be in those artifacts.
No, you can't
That's-
transfer. It's not like
yeah.
you rubbed one out on your holocron and then you got some midichlorians in there. Or
Oh
someone
my
to-
god.
It's like
I
that's
mean,
not how-
the
you don't- you
midichlorian
can't-
measuring tool that Qui-Gon had.
midichlorians aren't like the Jedi
Like,
STDs.
well, I mean, there was a tool that can measure midichlorians. So it was taking a blood sample.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was in
But it doesn't
one
make
movie.
sense.
That was in one
Yeah.
movie in one scene.
But then it
And
fucked
then they
everything up.
mentioned it like 3 times, and then they're like, you know what? That's dumb. Let's not do that anymore.
Yeah, it is dumb.
It's it's like force is the force. The force is the whatever. They I keep hearing that Palpatine is coming back, making a comeback in this last one.
I
And,
hope
With his, well, you hear his laugh in the trailer.
Yeah, you hear
for
his
some reason.
laugh, but you also hear Obi-Wan, the way he was edited to say Rey in the last one or something. But in the trailer, there's a brief scene on the cockpit scene of the Millennium Falcon. It shows Finn, and there's this woman behind him, big afro.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
People are saying that's Finn's new love interest. Is what they're saying.
It's supposed
Yeah.
to be. However, it is everyone's favorite scoundrel's daughter. Like, he likes capes.
Lando's daughter.
Previous owner of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, Lando.
Lando.
daughter.
She's a
Yeah,
Calrissian.
Calrissian.
She's a
Calzone.
Calrissian.
Lando
She's a
Calzone.
calzone.
Lando Calzone, everyone.
Lando Calzone. Thank you. He's
yeah.
Italian now. When did Star Wars go to the Wizard of Oz?
No. It's the Spider-Man pizza minigame theme.
Spider-Man pizza. Oh god.
All right.
That's way off topic. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Anybody who loves the prequels, fine. That's cool. I'll give you that one. Everyone who wants to say that there's no
They're better
Star
than
Wars
the
like
the
the
new
OG
ones.
Star Wars, fine.
I'll give them that.
You guys who are really, really in love with the EU, that's awesome.
Oh,
I
EU.
can't.
Yes.
I can't read that fucking much. I don't have that much
I
time in
can't
my
either.
life to cover
Yeah.
all the EU stuff. But I don't even have time to read the fucking comics, the Vader comics. I really
Yeah.
want to get those.
Oh, the Vader ones are really good. If you haven't checked those out, I highly suggest.
I really wish they would have done it. I really hope while the voice actor for Vader's still alive,
James Earl Jones.
they do James Earl Jones. I really hope they
Yeah.
do a Vader movie while he's still alive.
That'd be nice.
You know what? They could give
Yeah.
me a Vader animated, and I'd be fine.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'll
yeah.
do that too.
They
Yeah.
could
Like
just straight up.
more of the shit they gave us in Rogue One, please. But Jedi hunting and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, you mean where somebody explains why there was a hole in the screen door to let the the one little laser blast to come through to blow the whole thing up, and there was a whiny bitch who was like, "This is my project. I'm in charge of this," and all that shit. You want more of that?
No. The Vader scene from that,
Yes.
where he cuts down everyone in the hallway.
If you acknowledge Rogue
Oh.
One, you have to acknowledge all of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, all I saw was an extended opening.
You know what?
Episode
I
4.
was on board for
the end.
for Rogue One. I thought it was really cool, and I was willing to forgive the no crawl text at the beginning because technically this movie is the crawl text at the beginning of A New Hope. I'll give you that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And Alan Tudyk playing the Imperial droid that was now on their side. Brilliant. That was awesome.
You're being
lost me-
rescued. Please do not resist.
You lost me and any love I had for that movie when you killed my Donnie Yen. You killed my Donnie Yen. You didn't even give him a fun, awesome way of going out. I'm one with the force, the force is with me. I'm one with the force, the force is with me. I'm one with the force. Oh, that's what he did. I mean, seriously? That's the way you fucking kill my boy Donnie Yen. He's fucking Ip Man, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I
it's-
agree.
You lost me. As soon as that happened, the only good thing that happened beyond that was, the only good thing that happened in the whole movie was that Vader scene. That was it.
Yeah, that was.
that was awesome.
I hope
It was.
they maybe at least
It was
the
intense.
Vader TV show with
Yeah.
some of the.
You know
some
what?
of
I
the
want to
stuff
see a
that
Vader
happened
talk
between-
show.
Wait,
Imagine that
in
being a
Rogue
horror
One?
game.
Wait. In Rogue One, they had the original trooper armor, right? It wasn't for the First Order troopers, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had
was the original.
stormtrooper.
Yeah,
armor.
and they had the
Okay.
Death Troopers, which were
And
yeah, they had the
Short
Death
Troopers.
Troopers, and they had
Okay.
the
Short
Red
Troopers.
Guard.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I can't remember if they had like the
the
OG
Death Troopers.
stormtroopers or.
It's the. Yeah, they're genetically engineered in that one, right? Yeah.
Not
Death Troopers are-
entirely.
The
They're-
Death
They were,
Troop-
like,
some of the
weirdly
Death Troop-
malfigured.
Some of the Death Troopers are supposed to be leftovers of the clones that were still around from Order 66, but Palpatine was, from what I understand, Palpatine got rid of all the clones after Order 66
Oh, yeah.
went through.
They assaulted Camino, didn't they? They killed all the clones and everything.
I don't really
Oh,
remember.
Oh, you think the rebellion that happened?
Yeah, the rebellion. Yeah.
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 I don't know if that's. I don't know. I think that might be that might be EU
EU.
now. That might be Canada.
I
Yeah, I think
swear,
it's
if that's EU, I'm gonna be mad, dude.
Well,
I
did
thought
it
that
exist
was cool.
before they decided to make a Force Awakens?
I think.
Yeah.
Then yeah, it's
Was
EU.
it? Oh, I'm upsetty spaghetti now, man.
All right.
Come on.
So there's a new Mandalorian. There's gonna be a new Obi-Wan, which Obi-Wan is, I think, gonna be a short like 6 episode, not a movie.
I hope they do longer. We need more
Um,
Ewan McGregor in our lives.
They're supposed to
yeah.
be. They're
Yeah.
bringing back the 7th season of the Clone Wars, which I'm super excited. about.
Which I'm happy about. Yeah.
Can't wait.
I am going to binge watch. By the way, there's a
Me too.
special order to watch them in. You guys should know about that. You don't watch them in the order that Netflix released them in. There's a because you watch it and all of a sudden there's like, wait a minute, that guy died 2 episodes ago, and then
Yeah.
it skips
Yeah.
from one thing to another thing, and then 2 seasons later it comes back to that thing. It's
Yeah.
like there's a machete order to watch them in.
Yeah.
It's easy to find online if anyone doesn't know, but I'm
You'll have
gonna
to send
binge
me that.
watch the.
Make sure.
I have it actually on
Thank you.
a notepad thing. I'll send it to you. But
Thank you.
there's after this last movie comes out this Christmas. That's gonna be it for Star Wars for a little bit. Other
Yeah.
than what we have on the Disney
So we
Plus.
think.
The next movie to come out isn't gonna be until 2022.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
20.
Oh,
they're gonna
man.
they're gonna take a year off, regroup, and then start production on the next whatever it
And
is.
retcon everything Ryan Johnson did, hopefully.
Unless
Yeah.
they're gonna do a Days of Future
Oh.
Past, I don't see how they're gonna do it. But
Oh my god, that was a theory that I saw. It was.
is
I
it
think
the
another
one
Mr.
where
Blanket.
Ray wakes up and it was just a horrible dream?
No.
She wakes up and she's in the tent and it's Luke who comes and gets her and she's like, "What's the matter?" He said, "I had the most horrible dream," and he's like,
It was.
Come
on,
it
you're
was
late for
Red
training.
Letter Media. It was Red Letter Media. One of their predictions was that I wouldn't be surprised if it's one that happens. Is that they pull time travel too? Which
You
the
know-
reason why they go back to the Death Star is to find some MacGuffin to allow them to go back in time.
The Death Star
whatever.
is just remnants of the pieces.
Yeah, I
of
know.
The, thing
The
that
pieces
was
of the Death Star.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Just
I know.
like when Rey was scavenging on that. Anyway,
I know, but
The,
they're scavenging for some piece, which is why.
they're
Ben's
trying to
also
find
there.
the Sith holocron thing or something or
Yeah.
something that
That
belonged
allowed,
to
like,
Palpatine.
yeah, something.
Oh no, wait, they're
No,
trying to find
no.
Palpatine's body.
Oh, now that
Or
we're on
Saber.
this, where did the Death Star crash?
Where did what?
Like,
It's probably Endor. I would be-
Nah, that or Yavin 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
The
yeah.
other one got blown up. You know.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
be. Yeah, it could be. It could be Yavin.
I think
But
it
it
By
could
the
also
way-
be. It could
we
also
haven't
be a
even mentioned
terribly
this.
ruined Endor.
no one has
from
mentioned this.
Spaceships
There-
crashing down.
There's been a confirm at D23 that none of you have mentioned, not one time, even with you and your Obi-Wan coming back.
Yeah.
Ewoks. Ewoks are confirmed. Ewoks
yeah.
are confirmed for episode 9, people.
Oh yeah, there was
Yeah.
there was
You'll get
another
your nut-
there was
yub
another
yub.
theory from that.
You'll get your yub yub.
Yup.
Which, by the way,
Oh.
that
Oh, yeah.
village in the trailer, that village that they're going up on, where they're having that celebration and everything, the thought is, the rumor going around is that that's an Ewok village celebrating. They're still celebrating the explosion of the Death Star
Still.
because the Ewoks don't quit.
Yeah, there's another theory. There's another theory
Party.
from that same Red Letter
Been
Media
partying
video.
for 50
That
years.
they theorized that Palpatine lived, whatever, and that the Ewoks were like keeping him alive or something and worshiping him or something like that.
You know, I heard that the
There was-
Ewoks are
there was
actually
a
force
weird theory.
sensitive. I
That'd
heard
be
something
cool, though.
about that. There's supposed
I
to
mean,
be.
I mean,
Who would win? An advanced military force with polymer armor or some fucking bears with sticks?
I'm a stick hurt, man.
By the way, those Ewoks are some of the most vicious creatures in all of Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Oh
They're
yeah.
fucking
Definitely.
cannibals.
Yeah.
They were trying to roast Luke and Han, roast them alive. They weren't even going to kill him and put him out of the. They couldn't even courtesy hit him on the head with a rock to knock him unconscious. No, they were going to cook those some bitches and eat them.
Exactly,
They were-
man.
I
They like
mean,
the screams.
yeah, I mean, they those is, and then when at the end of the fucking movie, you see him playing on the helmets of the dead. You know,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
seriously,
They're gruesome. They're gruesome.
those things are fucked up. There's a
little
meme
savages.
going around. There was a meme going around where they showed a picture of an Ewok and he was like covered in blood and he was like holding a stormtrooper foot. He was like gnawing on it or some shit.
Oh,
It was
jeez.
like, it was like
Nice.
that's true Ewoks right
Yeah.
there.
Honestly.
Ewoks
that's
are
it, yeah.
scary creatures.
Yeah, Doctor Ewoks are scary creatures. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is gonna be it for a little while for the Star Wars franchise.
Probably for the best.
Honestly, I think it is too. I think they need to take a little break because
They do.
everyone is getting
Figure out
Star
who they really
Wars
are.
burnout.
Yeah,
Everyone's
burnt
hitting
out.
burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like with superhero movies in Marvel.
You know, I'm surprised that many people hasn't gotten burnt out on the superhero movies yet. I, for one,
A lot of
am
people
loving the fact that the superhero movies are still going. I'm not burnt out on them yet. I'm one of those people that can keep on going. And by the way, if anyone who hasn't heard, Disney and Sony are back at the negotiation table. They're
Really?
Oh,
they're
yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Oh,
There's-
thank God.
Thank
The latest
God.
information, unconfirmed, latest information is a
Disney, stop being greedy.
7-picture
Pause.
deal between the MCU and the standalones, and Sony is getting the go-ahead to bring Venom into
Yes.
Spider.
Oh,
An actually
wow.
good rendition of Venom, hopefully.
Now the only way that they can do it is either Tom goes there or they come here. They have to cross the universe because it's been established that Venom and Carnage right now, as it stands, is not in the MCU Spider-Man verse right now. It's separate. That is a separate verse that they're gonna do. Spider-Man
Wait, is Carnage in
multiverse.
the Venom movie?
At the very end, it's like an end credit scene where
Ah.
it's Woody Harrelson, by the way. People, Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage, and I don't know who's supposed to be playing the other one. It's Rage was the other one. Was he the purple one? Rage was the purple one, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
I think so.
Sony is getting a little piece of the pie for the merchandising, but Marvel is saying, okay, but you have to put a little into the merchandising. They're gonna get Kevin Feige to keep producing for the Spideyverse a little bit, but they have the rights to continue the animated stuff. So more
Yes, please, more into the
Spider-Verse, more
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
We need
That's gonna
Miles
be
is
so
a good
amazing.
way to. It was done right, I think. I think
That
they
was
did
one of
doing
my
good with Miles,
favorites
the way they're doing
of all the
it.
Spider-Men.
Yeah.
I love the new fucking Spider-Mans, but of all the Spider-Mans I've ever fucking seen, that one was one of my favorites.
That's
period.
how you
Yeah.
do an established character
Yeah.
of the different race. You
Right.
don't alter the current one. You make your own that's just
Which
as
is
good,
what
if not
they did the true
like
Miles Morales
its own
story.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
That's
Exactly.
I have
That-
the comic
yeah,
to
that's
where
what you
that actually
do.
happened, and
Yeah.
the
You
love
stick
interest
to the
with
source
Gwen
material and you do it
Stacy,
right.
And I didn't know that fucking a little anime girl with the spider robot
Yeah.
thing. I thought that was fucking bitching. That was fucking
Oh,
amazing
yeah.
shit. And I was like, is that real? I had to go look that shit up. That's fucking real. That's a whole fucking line. There's a whole run of just her.
Huh.
And
Holy
yeah,
crap,
it
you
was like
serious?
there's this genetically altered spider that controls a
Robot.
that was built
Penny
by her
Parker.
father. That what?
Yeah. Yeah, her name's Penny Parker.
Yeah, and it was her father's robot who, she has some kind of like
Died.
mental connection with or something,
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
controls the robot. It was like, but there's gonna be more Into the Spider-Verse. Tom Holland is gonna do more MCU, and they're gonna have more ancillary characters connecting to.
We've come full
And-
circle.
Right, and they're gonna finish out I know we were talking Star Wars, but then we've skipped over into Marvel, but it's
Yeah, I know.
important that everyone knows that there will be more Tom Holland MCU.
Good.
There will be more Spider-Man in the MCU. It's not over. They're still talking, and the linchpin.
Imagine being Tony Stark and going back in time and dying to save Spider-Man, only to have him disappear from the universe.
Yeah.
I miss. What was that tweet? It was I miss you 3000 from Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was what was it? There's talk of using Spider-Man Pantheon characters like Kraven in the next Into the Spider-Verse stuff.
Hmm.
I heard that. That's just what I've heard and read. But we've been going for what was it? 2 hours now? Let me check my time.
Oh wow, time flies. Holy crap.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been going
It
for about
doesn't
2
feel
hours
like so.
now.
Nope.
I wanna thank
It's been
everybody who came out and showed the love. Much love appreciated. We
Yeah.
usually try to do this on Sundays, but I might be starting to do this on Wednesdays. It just depends. Enigma, do you have anything you want to plug? You have anything coming up or anything you want to give a shout out where they can find you online if anyone wants to give a shout out to you?
If you want to find me online, my Instagram and my Twitter is Enigma is Lost, because I usually generally am a person. So hit me up in there. I post some Star Wars stuff, even like this stuff on VR chat post. I stream like whatever Star Wars, all that stuff, obviously.
Mhm.
If you want to find me there and hit me up.
Okay, it was a pleasure having you. Gonna have to have you come back.
Yeah,
to
it was a
talk
pleasure meeting you,
things
Nagma.
that aren't Star
Yeah, no, I love
Wars
it.
things. CC, Thigh
Oh
Master.
boy. Oh yeah, the Thigh Master. Put the the Thigh Master.
Yeah. Mike Tyson trying to say our host's name.
Tell the people at home
Fire.
what you told me your name was.
Oh yeah, so in lore, this character
Lore.
is Thyre. It's the very first episode of Star Wars Clone Wars TV show. He was leading a Jax, I think. Jax and what's the other guy's name? I forgot the other guy's name. Either way though, I really like that character, so I decided to create him in VRChat, and that's exactly what I did.
But the name is what
So,
again?
Yeah, it's the name's Thyre, and
Spell that.
Thire, I think.
Thyre.
Thyre, yeah.
Thigh.
Kind of like
Thigh.
It's kind of like the.
Thigh
Yeah,
with an
Thigh. Yeah, exactly.
I still say it sounds like someone speaking Southern. No, that went over Thyre. Over Thyre.
Over Thyre.
Over Thyre. It's either
Every time
Southern
I
or got a
say it-
speech impediment or both. No, it's up
there.
there. Up there on the left. Up there on the left.
Oh my god. It's perfect. It's perfect.
And he wouldn't let me. I was like, I'm just gonna call you CC. No, you call me Dyer.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not calling you
No,
Dyer.
just call me CC at this point.
Yeah.
This is CC. CC, do you have anything you want to plug for the people at home?
Yeah, I don't know if you like Star Wars. Of course, you probably do if you're tuning in. But if you like VR Chat and Star Wars, we do have a very wide, huge community of Star Wars loving people. We make content for VR Chat quite often, maps, working weapons, simulations, even vehicles. We have vehicles as well. Arc 170s, anything you really think of, we've built. So yeah, if you ever Enigma can hook you up. I don't really have any really social media accounts besides,
Oh
VR
my
Chat.
gosh.
Anybody
I just
who's in
realized
this
what the
group
first
that
part
is
of
in
your
the
name is.
chat, you're welcome to drop a link in the chat to the Discord or to anything
Okay.
you want. And
All right.
It's,
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
it pretty open. You can do it there. And if you're not able to, I'll get it from them and I'll drop it
Okay.
in the YouTube whenever
Okay.
because this
Yeah.
is gonna go post
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna edit it.
Oh yeah, I'll
to
just
cover
give you.
all
All right, better get better. I'll just give him the link and just go to his YouTube and go to the description or whatever. And just post it there.
Or in a card up in
Sound
the
good?
right hand corner if he does that.
Or yeah, that too. Yeah. Hey, hey, you know what? That's what you need to do. You need to get like
Actually,
cards over there. And I just like
Let me.
post it up and just says.
I'm gonna
If
drop.
I had
Last
hands,
time
I'd
I
point
tried to
right
write
there.
on that board,
Yeah.
I saw it. I wrote down real nerdy, REEL nerdy, and
Yeah.
everyone looked at it and said it looks like the word flip nippy. It doesn't come out correctly on this on this world.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just generic clone.
You can
That's who I am.
The phase one man.
you can
Yeah, generic
you
phase
can
one.
you can post it in this Discord. Just post it in
Okay.
here, and
Alright.
I'll make sure to post it in the
Okay.
YouTube thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Paper. Anything you want
Yes.
to plug, buddy? Where can people find you if they want to give?
I
a
mean,
shout out to
eventually,
Paper?
I'm gonna hopefully start streaming.
Eventually.
Twitch.tv /Paper Guide.
Paper Guide, all one word, people. Not like
Yeah.
TV Guide, just Paper Guide.
Just
Yeah.
paper guide.
Well,
Just
this has
paper.
been the Nerd Evolution Podcast, Episode 4. Thanks for coming out. I want to thank you, my sponsor, Honey. It's a seriously, no kidding aside, it's a great thing to add to your extension on your Chrome.
Oh, I use
it's,
it.
Definitely.
It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and the only thing you need to do is
Sign
go
up.
to their website and sign up, and it's easier to sign up than anything else because all
And
you
there's
gotta
an
do
extension for Chrome that
and
automatically
it makes
does
an extension. And next time you're on Amazon or Adam and Eve or Sherry's Berries or whatever the fuck you're gonna do,
Giggity.
you can just make your order like you normally would. No special promos needed, and you let Honey do the work for you. It'll search the internet for the best possible savings. I used it for the first time. I went to Pizza Hut. I didn't go to the specials or the deals. I just made my pizza selection. I saved $15 on my pizza.
Ooh, oh my god.
That I saved
kidding
literally.
me?
I saved about
Talk
half
about
of my-
saving your piece of the
right?
pie.
Right? I ended up
Yeah.
with 2 largest specialties, and I ended up with some cheese sticks and a drink, and I only paid about $16.
Kind of jealous, not gonna lie.
I mean, seriously,
If you sign up for Honey, you can do that too.
you sign up for Honey, you can do the same thing.
Yeah.
And if
There
you
you
go to
go.
adamandeve.com, use promo code FIRE, F-I-R, F1R3, and you get some free aloe with every fireproof lingerie. Tell them I sent you. Thank you. Thanks, Adam and Eve. But you guys have a great time. Thanks for coming. If you're on YouTube,
Wait,
like,
actually,
comment,
fireproof
subscribe.
lingerie?
There's actual fireproof lingerie. It's
Well, I'm not
fire
surprised.
it's fire retardant lingerie. Technically, it has it's
You people
it's
out there on the
basically
internet
leather.
are into
It's
some weird
basically
stuff.
leather.
Hey,
It's
that's
basically
some
leather.
pretty heated sex you got going on.
Careful! I have an avatar that doesn't have a shirt on. You be careful.
Uh-oh. Oh god,
Everybody at home.
that might be too hot
Until
for
next
YouTube.
time.